Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is
and you
not
took my
going
time to talk. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my time.
No, I'm coming.
Alexi, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend
No, sorry. Sorry.
Okay. Children are born and put on a rubber stool. No, I tell people, Dr. Damages, you need to come, if you want to know the level of poverty in Nigeria, you need to enter the Nigerian hospital. You'll be walking at the doctor, sometimes you cry. Sometimes we use our money to give patients. So when people see doctors go on strike, I get mad. I had to leave. It's painful. You see a child that you're taking care of. After a few days, the child is retrogressing. The child is getting worse by the day because the drug you recommended, you prescribe for the child, they cannot take the child's prescription to the pharmacy. There is no money. They don't have money in their account. The little baby that is so fragile, you manage to take their blood sample. They cannot process the blood sample because the person at the lab said no, they don't have the money in their account. They will take my salary if I process this sample. So you watch the innocent baby retrogress. What do? You take our money from your pocket and give that parent, madam, please go and put in this account. Let me see this child get better. And we're here defending thieves because they give you $5,000, $1,000. What is $1,000? Children are born and put on plastic chairs in Nigeria. Are we not ashamed of ourselves? And we'll call Obi stingy. Let him be prudent and let us have functioning hospitals. Let us have good roads. Our people are dying. Children are dying by the day. I had somebody when I was in Calabar, and when I was still a medical student, the man I used to buy something from at Amaya Market, his child was born premature. Guess what? But the child was older than the other child that survived. Why did his child die? Because the child missed the last incubator that was available. The other child that was born that was weak and had the incubator, his child did not have any incubator. They had to wrap the child and put a lamp beside him. That child died. Oh. And you people have the effrontery to come here and defend Tinubu article.
Oh no, it's so sad. It's so sad.
And I am ready to die defending.
I hope that Nigeria wins. I'm never going to wish any president evil so that I can say I told you so. No, I won't wish them evil. I hope. You see, I'm not praying. There's no point. I can't pray for Nigeria to be fine. I only hope that Nigeria wins and Nigerians win. Because if you choose a dodgy doctor who has a dodgy record, who has, all sort of accusations leveled against him, to say this doctor, we think he's done this, or this doctor, this surgeon, yes, he's a senior surgeon, he's the most whatever surgeon, but there are a lot of accusations leveled against him. If you choose him to operate on you, and you tell me to pray for you that it doesn't kill you surgery, what's the point? I can't pray. You might make it, you might not make it. My prayer won't change anything. So I hope Nigeria and Nigerians win during Tinubu's 4 years. Thank you.
Chukuna malugo yo biadiocha Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienio Owe chuku bezie chuku Nuche chukwa busigi fege meo Nuche chukwa busia ifege meo Nifo solo ne asi alibazie Oboye bebe agaranya muliba Oboye wuru agaranya mebi vesolea Mano agaranya mua Oboye afyozie nipakwa Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienio Oboye chikubezio lisa Kodili ma, kodili bemo, kodili wakema, kodili wanima. Naino kwane we beluge beluo. Kodili ma, kodili bemo, kodili kemo, kodili heyo. Ibedwe me wane, nikadiezi bohimo.
$1,911,844,833 naira and 46. I'll take that again. 1,911,844,000,000. This money is too much for me. 1 trillion. I hope that is not on the record. 1,911,804.
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way.
This is not a joke. It's not a turn-by-turn thing here. I wouldn't be here. After this election, stop coddling Showore and having him running his mouth. He cannot win a single local government. So
you are the one running your mouth. Stop, be respectful to Showore. Are you mad? Are you alright?
Mute that guy. Mute him. It's my turn.
Are you mad?
Mute that boy right now.
Amari, hold on.
Mute that son of a bitch.
No. No. Pansa, no, you don't say. No, this is not good. You see, this what I think I've said, why do you people want me to be making commentary, editorial commentary on this? This is your chance to speak. But you guys are making me to make editorial commentary. Why do we think that, hold on, Pansa, hold on. I'll call you when I'm done. Hold on. Everybody hold on. Why do all of us think that we are that important? Anybody, whoever you are. Why is this? Do you think this election will? I've seen the world. I don't know where you live. I don't know how you study history. I've seen the world. Nothing. This is not the end. This is not the end. We can't allow people to come here and talk this way. It's not good. You can make your point and quietly, and people will get your point. You understand? Nobody. No, not yet. I'm not finished. Maybe I'll start treating this as like a classroom. I teach a class. Nobody can speak like this in my class. It's not possible. But I just know that I want to engage. I want people to have conversation. I want to make it free. I don't want to start putting people, banning people, stopping people from talking. I don't like that. Blessed are those who know how much they need to know before they know how little they know.
All right, you are welcome to this another day, beautiful day all around the world, wherever you are. I pray that it's a beautiful day for you. It's a beautiful day for me. And today we are on Have Your Say. As you know, we'll be paying a lot of attention on what goes on in Nigeria, and then as well as other nations of the earth. But just in case we are not able to bring your story or the story that you have in mind, you also have an opportunity to tell us that story that you have in mind. We want to say upfront that you are entitled to your view and you can express it. But we are saying express and speak what you think you can defend and what you think you know, so that you don't put yourself in any difficult situation when maybe somebody calls you up to defend what you have said. So with that being said, we have a very beautiful program today. So let's start this way.
Because they know they have been exposed. all kinds of maneuvering, all kinds of blackmail. Oh, the minister is too hard, minister is not this. These are the same people who complain that when the former government was here in the 80s, that they never knew if there was any minister. Now the same people now, I say, oh, he's too hard, he's this. The same people want you to give them, yeah, you did this, so I'm living social place. Can you help me to let that be road? To which one?
But two wrongs don't make it right.
No, how? I'm doing the right thing.
It's the process of recovery.
Yes.
Or your administrative processes.
Yes.
Either let the ground or revocation. The arguments like with the last
yes.
is that you don't follow due process.
What is due process?
Court order.
No, it's not correct. I don't require a court order. It's not correct. First of all, we are giving you notice. Remember, in March, we published. In March, we will publish about these people who are owing. In March, April, May, June. Now, look, the caucus of the leadership of PDP, led by Senator Abamuru, they came to see me. Now, look, this is the problem they have. I say, what is that? That is and that and that.
Yeah, that is the one who owns Nigeria. His name is Wike. He's the only person who is always right in Nigeria. No other person in Nigeria can say anything that is right. Once that right is not from him, then all of you are wrong. It doesn't matter whether it is the whole of Nigeria. Once he takes a stand, you cannot make him see your reason. And but to give it to Wike, I was a bit surprised this week that he decided to give some respite to people, the indigenous communities in Abuja, who they have given some kind of levy, and he said gave directive to his director to quash those levies, and I salute him for that. He has again shown that he can. Maybe those of us who think he doesn't listen, at the end of the day, he does listen. Nigeria is an interesting place. If you read theater arts, you will have read a very book. The title is Theater of the Absorbed. Everything that happens in that play and the dramatic personnel are all people with wonderful characters that And then we have come into another place. This world. That's why I say you should take your time and read history, and read events. Books that people write give us an insight of what may happen or may not happen. And there's a book that I think you should go and read. It's called Holding Talks. Those guys just sit down and they judge you. They talk. And at the end of the day, nothing is achieved from the talk. So that's how Nigeria is becoming. And, I don't want to go to the point to say we are fast becoming a laughing stock, because maybe today they begin laugh. People don't laugh of since when I be small picking. So right now, we have become comedy to a lot of nations. And so we will dive into a lot of things today. But there is a guy who wants to advise us. And, because I lived a lot of my life, my youth in Benue, this guy wants to advise the Benue people that they should remember their origin. And I think sometimes it's good for us to go back. And that's why I don't agree with those people who say we should not study history. We should look up, because if you don't study what has happened before, the tendency of your doing it again is very great. So let's hear this advice.
We bring evil upon ourselves. When evil reigns, there is darkness everywhere. The people are sad. But when we bring evil upon ourselves, who are we to blame? Benue had been known from the time of Taka, the Middle Belt Congress. Benue had been known to be a bulwark against the Gambari invaders from Futadelo. But people can easily deceive you. The Gimade, the Akumates, the Orotor, who out of their greed manipulated the electoral process and brought this fitna upon you, brought this evil upon you, brought this the Satan of Satan, if ever lying Buhari upon you people. I brought death and destruction upon you people. Benue, this is not the time to cry. Thieves, this is not the time to cry. Idoma, this is not the time to cry. Egede, this is not the time to cry. This is the time to stand up as men that you are. You are men. Whenever they came, you stopped their jihad from entering your land. Their so-called evil, satanic war of expansion. With their evil called jihad, the evil of Osman Danfodio that they call jihad, you stop them. Where is that power today? Whenever their cattle strays into your land, you hit them. That's why they call you Munchi. You hit them. Where are the Tifi people? You are crying like babies, like small baby. You are crying. Shame on you. Rise up like the men that you are. Even thief women were strong women. Rise up. This is like the story that we read about Solomon when he died. His son Rehoboam wants to become a king. They came to him.
Okay, that is, one of the warlords in that contraption. And I like it. You say this is not the time for the Nigerian communities to be crying. This is not the time to cry. This is a time to show that you are men. Men, if you remember, I'm Igbo, so the Ohafia war dance. This is the time to show that you are men. This is the time to show that in spite of everything, your community, your people, held with even bare hands, the invading communities and stop them from, making sure that nobody exists in your communities. And, there are so many stories to tell about Nigeria, and I can go on and on, for so long. But I want you also to know that while Asari the Kobo, good guy, or, some people will call him bad guy also, he plays both sides. Now, some people will also say that while such people are giving advice to the Benue people, who I know are able to stand, I know it for sure. The Nigeirian people, after all, stopped the raging mobile police, troop when they wanted to, build the University of Agric, and they wanted to force the Nigeirian people out of that place. They took them on. We still have that story. We know it very well. So I'm just hoping that someone will rise, just like he has said, to, tell the people who they are and remind them of their ancestry. But having said that, you see, even in this same contraption called Nigeria, we still have elders, respected politicians, people who can speak from both sides of their mouth, depending on what time of the day it is. If you meet them in the morning, they have a different story. If you meet them in the afternoon, they have a different story. If you meet them in the evening, voila, you can always get, any which day you meet them, you will hear a very nice, well-packaged, even though you may have been in the morning, they spoke to you in the morning, and you are back in the evening, you will still hear them speak the same thing, irrespective of the fact that they are looking at you, knowing that you were with them in the morning. And if you doubt what I'm saying, here is such people.
Never, because maybe we won't be given to speak English. Or is the umbrella?
27 of us in the State House of Assembly never defected to any other party. We were elected under the platform of the People's Democratic Party. and we never defected. We never took any step to defect to any other party.
They are members of the All Progressive Congress, and by that very fact, I am their chairman, and so they are within my presence of authority. They are under my presence. They are under the umbrella called, or the broom, whatever, because maybe we won't be given to speak English. When we say umbrella now, they will think we are talking about PDP. They are under the broom called APC. And if they are under the broom called APC, I am in charge.
Some days ago, we defected inside the Hallowed Chamber of the River State House of Assembly in line with Section 109 of the 1999 Constitution as ordered. We made sure that we followed due process. We made sure that we did not do anything outside the provisions of the 1999 Constitution.
The undue pressure on the judiciary by politicians has given the citadel of justice a bad image and making it lose the confidence of the people of Nigeria. A case easily cited is the River State crisis, which raised the fear that the judiciary may ultimately undermine democracy. In that case, 27 former members of the River State House of Assembly announced their defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the platform on which they were elected, to the All Progressives Congress, APC. In their letters of resignation from the PDP, the 27 assembly members cited a division in the PDP as the reason for their decision.
Distinguished colleagues, the reason for the defection by the 27 members of this House are purely in line with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as altered, specifically Section 109. And the House has already before this time deliberated on all the issues in the PDP, and we feel there is sufficient division, and for that reason, members have the choice to move to the All Progressive Congress as already indicated in these letters.
In a bold step to reaffirm their defection, the former lawmakers swore an affidavit before the Federal High Court in Abuja to prove their earlier defection on the floor of the Assembly. This is conclusive evidence of their decampment and perjury in view of their futile efforts to deny it after realizing the damage of their action. Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Seme here, as he then was, followed the constitutional path to declare their seats vacant and conveyed to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the need to conduct by-elections to fill the vacated seats.
Gentlemen and ladies, are you watching with me? That's why I said we are now in the theater of the absurd. The absurd. People just do and say whatever suits them at any time, with no fear of any repercussion, because you could see clearly by yourself the affidavit sworn in a law court, and the statements made to the media, conferences called, press statements issued. Yet these individuals who have children and family and wife and brothers and sisters and relatives are able to stand and say, we never. Come on, guys, man. What kind of a country are we running? So sometimes you see these things, and that's why it's difficult to defend anything that has to do with Nigeria. Because if the systems cannot be maintained, if the people who are running the system cannot be held accountable, what hope is there for an ordinary man? There's no hope. There's no hope. Because, as a Christian, I know that the Bible says, if you wrestle with men and you cannot prevail, what will you then do when they're wrestling with, horses? When you contend with horses? Okay, so now why do I say that? If the ordinary men cannot even call these individuals who are not even in any position of authority, they're just simply assemblymen in states, then how can we call the president of Nigeria to order or call the governor to order? We can't do that because we've lost the stance to be able to take such an action. Call them out, tell them you're a liar. You are a liar, and a liar is a thief. Get out. But no, instead, people are pandering to them, and you're hoping that good governance will come. and they're hoping that 2027 will be better. They're hoping that the constitution all of a sudden will change, and the same politicians will change overnight, and all of a sudden they'll decide not to like money, and all of a sudden they just become lovers of the people instead of lovers of themselves. All of a sudden they will hate Prado Jeeps, they will hate Lexus Jeeps, they will hate, bulletproof cars. All that money will be spent on the people. Lie, my brother, wake up. I go lie for you. According to my friend in the comedy, I don't go lie for you now. You don't never to family. But while all this is going on, in the same country where people now use money to show up themselves in whichever way they want, this is what some people are experiencing in the same country.
Not been given any form of formal assent. And I think.
Thank you for joining us. The death toll from devastating floods in Mokwa, Niger State has risen. Emergency officials say, as at the last count, at least 115 people have been confirmed dead, with many more still unaccounted for. Officials say the flooding followed hours of torrential rain Wednesday night, submerging more than 50 homes in the market town. The National Emergency Management Agency says rescue efforts began early Thursday morning and are still ongoing. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency earlier confirmed 36 deaths, but the figure has surged as more bodies are recovered. Rescue teams are searching for the missing, with concerns that the death toll could still rise. Let's
Okay, with the concern that the death toll could still rise. Death toll has risen, my brothers and my sisters. We are counting over 220 right now, and more people are still missing. Over 1,000 people are still missing. Remember that on this channel, we said so last year when the flood came, and I said, as a student in University of Abuja many years ago, almost I left, I think, early 90s. Okay. This flood has been carrying people in that small river in Gwagwalada there. People, whenever it rains, the same thing, the same dam, the same whatever, it's always been happening. And you want us to believe that we are human beings with brains? Because it will still happen next year. Go mark my word again. I said so 2 years ago. I said so last year. It's still happening this year. It's going to happen again. That is how stupid we have become. And that's why when foreigners kind of show me an attitude I don't like, I don't bother myself too much, because even in my country we have refused to use our brain. We have made our own people so common that anything can happen to them and nothing will happen. Nobody is held accountable. Nobody will be held accountable for this one. And certainly it is God. God has done it. It is God that gives. It is God that takes. Wow. Well, while you're still looking at that, just in case you didn't have the action, I have a video that shows some part of what happened, but somehow this is not loading up. So maybe because, again, I have plenty of video. But why that is going on, and the mayhem going on in Benue came to a very high level, to the point that the president asked the chief of army staff to relocate to Benue. But let's just get a snippet of what happened and what the governor said.
There was some time that you thought that these were just skirmishes, but I think with new information, it doesn't look like these are just skirmishes. These are major attacks, and you have said that your state is under siege. There are a lot of people who are listening to you tonight. As a chief executive officer of the state, the man who is in charge of lives and property in the state, on whom account you will give at some point based on the mandate you are giving. There are those who say the political feud between you and the secretary of the secretary to the government of the federation. There are those of your people in the state who are picking holes about that feud, and some of the statement coming out of people who have met him in the past. To conclude this conversation, what decisive steps are you going to take? A political feud, how are you going to end it? Because a lot of people are saying this is also coming in the way of defending and saving the lives of the people in the state.
Thank you for that question. We cannot deny in total that there is some bit of, I don't want to call it a cold war, but some bit of a political misunderstanding here between the SGF and the state. We were invited to the Toti Palace. The two of us happened to be of chief extraction, and our paramount ruler on the land is the Toti. And he had called us with all the other political architects. So we came to the palace, and then he testified that he didn't have any issues with either the governor or the state as a whole. But I think those who are alluding to this may not also be wrong. Since we've been having all these attacks, I'm not sure any statements come from him or his cronies on what is going on. But when you hold this kind of a very high position, it is a large, big position and much expected of you. A word might also help in some quarters. Part of what I've done is to take care of this political push by politicians, by a number of the shenanigans, political shenanigans, who are out there to create confusion just for their own personal individual benefits. That in Sankara local government, again, the three local governments, Upon, Logo, and Sinala, we set a judicial panel to sort out for us why we kept having, attacks from within and from without. And what the panel is submitting to us, we received an interim report. Between Tuesday and Wednesday this week, I'm going to get a full-fledged signed report from the panel. It is...
That's it, my people. He's going to get full-fledged reports. Needed to say that Father Elia has not, have not shown us what we all expect of him. I know him, from as a priest, because while he was, one of the priests in one of the church, in fact, St. Teresa Church in Makodi, he was not someone that was hidden. He was known to Benue people, and he was one of those who had a special mission, in the Catholic Church. So what he has shown so far, yes, he's done some development, but the first priority of any government is the protection of life and property. It does not matter how much development that you have. It is the life of your people that you need to protect. If you are failing to do that, if you demolish a house, you can build it up. If you demolish a human being, how do you replace his life? And this is what is going on. As we speak right now, in Benue alone, you have more than 30 communities have been ransacked and people occupying who are not indigenous of those places. And the people who are supposed to own those communities are now in IDP camps. And you're speaking, Igbo for me. Well, that is, for you to make sense of, if really that is what we expect a governor who is proactive to be telling us right now. You're waiting for a report. You can't be waiting for reports. You should be on the field, looking at what's happening. You should be moving up and down, making sure you give the people hope to know that their lives are secured. But why this is going on, some of you may not know. As somebody from the Southeast, I want to ask you this question before we dive into this whatever we're going to be saying today. This is...
When will Southeast even have lion's share in any particular project? Mr. President, if this is an omission, it is an expensive omission. The Southeast cannot continually to be treated the way Nigeria is treating the Southeast. Let me give you an instance.
Very good. And that is where I stand. The Southeast cannot continue to be treated the way Nigeria is treating the Southeast. And that's why you have all agitations, the likes of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mr. Simon Ekpa. No matter how you look at it, if you care to read independent account, and one of the things I do is to read independent account of most of these things, you will hear some, you have a balanced understanding of what is going on in Nigeria. And any country that have two developmental agenda, one for one section and another for another section, you can never be able to come together. Things fall apart. The center will never be able to hold. While we're still talking about that, our president has also made move again to ask for more loans this time. And that's the reason why he first of all said they have finished paying the IMF loan, but now he's asking for a fresh loan. Now, at the time of putting this together, your son sitting with you right now in America, in London, in Australia, or wherever you be in the world, is already indebted by 5,200,000 and something naira. Your son. So, if we think that what is going on will not affect us, unless of course you decide to say you have moved and you're not going to come back to Nigeria, all of us will go chop breakfast. Having said that, the government also went into overdrive, commissioning a road that's supposed to be 750 kilometers, that they've done 30 kilometers, and they gathered to celebrate themselves. Now, but before we came on this channel, there was an independent guy, who went and did an independent assessment of the road and realized that the road done was less than 16 kilometers. Less than 16 kilometers. I've searched for that video all around the internet. I couldn't find it. I don't know how the government, I don't know. I don't want to say what I don't know, but it's no longer, I couldn't find it because I wanted to play it for you guys because the guy took his time to explain bit by bit. And this is part of the video that he did that I want to play for you right now. But you see, I want you to learn something. One of the things I want us to take away from this is that the government is playing a very dangerous game, because I realized that when I was searching for that video, I saw a lot of other independent producers like myself who have been given money to go out there and produce mass video explaining how government have been so good. I can see, because I know the script. I mean, the scripts. I know when when you are writing a mass script, the first person says the same thing. It has similar words that are used almost the same way that words are laid. It's also laid on the other one. You know that this is not a just an individual job, because we all don't use the same language. We all don't speak the same words at the same space at the same time. Nothing like that. Anyway, here is what I was able to find. Even at that, the guy couldn't explain more, because that video I was looking for started his explanation from this point, and this guy did the same thing, but in other words, he couldn't explain.
The pavement is currently at kilometer 41 here on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Adeleke section. Like I said, Adeleke section is Lekki Free Trade Zone. In case you don't know, Adeleke is not that popular, but Lagos Free Trade Zone, this is where they've gotten to. As you can see, they're not just building the road, they're also making sure the road is cleaned up. Right there, that's a sweeping machine. And we'll have a lot of guys working to ensure the road it's always kept clean. All right, so this is what I'm seeing right here on the change one on the coastal road. As we make progress, we'll be seeing more. Guys, the goal for this video is to cover the sections that will be commissioned on 25th of May. Today is 16th of May, so we have 9 days for this road to be commissioned.
Okay, so that guy did a story, but it is now with the Arise News that reported that have said to independent people, individuals and all, take a drive on that road and find out for yourself how much of road have been done. You see, that's why they keep trying to attack Arise News, because Arise News have taken a position in this thing. Not that I love Arise News, I like some of the people, yes, as a professional colleague, I like some of them, but sometimes I also feel they push a little bit too hard. But they are doing it. And overall, in a nation where people are jittery to ask questions, to be able to stand their ground, I think what Arise News is doing is one of the things that will encourage journalism. Remember, this was a position that people like Delegiwa and Reepo and Danagbese took before Nigerian journalism, went into the hands of bidder. The winner, the bidder, the highest bidder takes it. So they are beginning to bring back that culture of asking the tough questions. So if you don't want to come to the station, it's okay. But now, having said that, this is what happened, because some of you have already seen that you are attacking me already. I'm just reporting what is going on. I have no part in it. I have no dog in this fight. So don't chew me, okay? Don't do what people go to the studios to go and do to other people. Please, if you don't like my view, okay, it's okay. You can bring your own view up. But here, we say it the way it is. This is what happened in Arise News.
Hungry. What kind of hunger is that? And you choose your birthday as a moral police, and they will not to spokesperson of Amechi, and this and using unprintable words that I was not expecting to hear from somebody who has functioned as editorial chairman of Guardian newspapers. For somebody like that to come to studio and begin to say, to call a minister rude in defense of Rotimi Amechi, because he was supposed to, in journalism, we are not supposed to have opinion. So I was shocked to hear him turning himself to spokesperson of Amechi. And I want to also suggest that since he's now Amechi's spokesperson, he should excuse himself from Arise TV and go and do his job properly. He should not be using a platform provided by respected Nigerians like Oga Nduka Oba-Igbena to ventilate his anger, his frustration, and his hatred for Wike. Because it is obvious that he hates Wike. He said here that Wike is rude. When he had issue with EFCC and he had to pay back the money he got from Dasuki money, from Dasuki loot, then the alleged Dasuki loot, he himself and his wife knew the road to Wike's house to go and beg for a bailout, which is obviously got, and Wike was not rude that time. Oga Ruben Abati has always come to this station to present himself as a moral police, to postulate, present as a moral police. And he will not one day tell us that at one point in his life, he is a politician, a member of PDP. At some point in his life, he was PDP deputy governorship candidate in Ogun State. And he was comfortable having his picture displayed with that of somebody who was wanted by the American government for alleged drug trafficking. He was comfortable on the podium with somebody who was wanted by the American government for alleged drug trafficking. That is the person that will come here and pronounce with his mouth that a minister of this, a former governor, a minister, somebody not hungry. What kind of hunger is that? And you choose your birthday. And that is what we are saying. And I'm saying this again. Nigerians should stop allowing themselves to be deceived. People who were in government yesterday, because they are no longer in government, when they were in government, they did not call Nigerians to say, oh, Nigerians, so this is what we are doing. Come and join us to enjoy a public fund. Now they are out of government for just 2 years. They have suddenly become champion of democracy. Amechi has now become champion of democracy. Amechi, under whose judiciary in Rivers State was shut down for over 1 year.
Okay, very well. Welcome back to the morning show. Some things I need to set straight. Dr. Abati did not leave the show because Arise TV told him not to come today. He was indisposed and he called in sick. That assertion that he didn't come because you were coming here is totally false. Secondly, all the allegations placed against him can't be substantiated, and he has the right to be able to respond to all of this. Thirdly, please let me speak. Mr. Larry Olayinka, you would let me speak. You have been speaking for so many minutes here. You will let me speak, please. And I insist on that right. Secondly, the right of reply was between Wike and Rotimi Amechi. And I think it's best issues like that are focused as a right of reply based on that. Not this casting of aspersions about people that are not here to speak for themselves and saying things that are not true and do not hold water. So it will be best for you to moderate yourself and speak to the issues as regards the right of reply. I am still speaking. I am still speaking. I am still speaking, Mr. Olayinka. So please, I want you to focus on the right of reply of what transpired between your boss and Amechi. That's the focus of this issue, and not attacking people that are not here to defend themselves. That's the only decent thing to do. Go ahead.
Are you done speaking?
Go ahead, please.
When your Ruben Abati was in that studio calling Wike, saying Wike was a rude person, was Wike there to defend himself? Was Wike there? So if he's not here, he will also hear what I'm saying and come as spokesperson to Amechi to also defend himself. Again, Oseni Rufai, stop behaving like you know everything. You are not a spirit. The allegation I made is against Ruben Abati, not you. Listen.
No, but I have a right to speak up for my colleague. I have a right to speak up for my colleague.
You have a right. You have a right to speak up for your colleague.
Yes.
You don't have the
we
right.
are a team on this show.
You don't have a right.
We are a team.
You don't have a right. You don't have the right. You say even if you are a team, you don't have a right because we are not in the zoo. Ruben, we are not in the zoo.
Mr. Olayinka, with due respect, maybe one of these days we'll talk about your own 20 million fraud allegations that you had to go back and forth to court for. Maybe we'll talk to that. Your own 20 million fraud allegations. Allegations against you too.
20 million allegation. I went to court. I went to court myself, and the case was struck out, dismissed. The case was dismissed. If I knew that you were going to talk about it, I will bring the court judgment. And that is why I say, so go and do a 2 or 3 weeks course in journalism so that you will know. You will not come to a TV station to begin to talk like you are a lawyer, using words like I put it to you. Like somebody is a court of law, you are doing cross-examination. I put it to you. I put it to you. This is a conversation, not an interrogation. You should also begin to act like human being that you are supposed to be. What I'm saying here is that I made allegation against Ruben Abati. Let him come and defend him. So you are not the one to say that the allegation is lie. He says it's false. It's true or not. Because you are not the person. Were you with him when he went to Wike? Were you with him in the EFCC custody? Were you with him? You were not with him now. So stop behaving like you know everything. Is it not you that you study animal anatomy?
So
that you are supposed to be doing it.
Okay. What is wrong in studying animal anatomy?
Okay, Mr.
Can you show us your own certificate from the school you went? Show us your own certificate.
Documentary on animal now.
The certificate is phony.
Guys said go and do documentary on animals and stop talking to human beings and let responsible person coordinate this program, not you. Not somebody who was convicted for breaking traffic offense. Not somebody like you. You come to station, you come to TV station and begin to do.
Mr. Lere Olayinka.
Not an animal.
Let's not.
And you should retract your statement.
Sorry. I didn't know that I was actually muted. Sorry. Yeah. So what am I saying? I'm saying that is what happens to us. What you just saw is a clear example of what happened to journalists. When they cannot find what to say about you, they begin to attack your person. If they can't attack your person because you're as fine as I am, they begin to attack your degree. If they cannot attack your degree, they look for one thing or the other to say. Maybe your smile is not this or that. So, but we are used to it. I don't know why Rufai, allowed himself to be gaslighted by this guy, because that is what he clearly came for. He came to scatter and shake the table in that studio, and he succeeded in doing that. But also, for me, who is a viewer, it was entertaining, and it behoves also look at how Nigerians think. Because in the developed world, it's not actually what you read that's the problem, that you actually practice. Some people read other things and they practice other things, in this modern world. So I don't know why that should come in, but we are ready and ready to kick off this discussion. Please, just like me, I have my cup of tea here. Get your own cup. Let's get ready and let's get moving. I have with me in the studio bringing in Mr. James. Mr. James, you're welcome. I also have Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony, you're welcome. Great. It's been a bumpy ride so far, but I'm enjoying myself. And I also have quite a number of videos available if you want us to, if you have the time, we'll go there. But if, Mr. James, you have seen what we advertised, and what will be your comment? What will be your addition?
Actually, I have no addition to make because the country has collapsed. These are signs of a collapsed nation. I have nothing actually. Let me give other people the chance to make their comments, because the country has collapsed. This is what we see. And the collapse is manifested in the judiciary, the health sector, the transportation, water supply, administration, the school. The entire country is in tatters as we are speaking right now. I do not know if you can tell me, if you can mention any sector of the economy that is working fine. I used to have the belief that the journalism sector is doing fairly well because at least they're able to update people on what is going on. But on the look of things, everywhere is just upside down. The center certainly can no longer hold. And I doubt if Nigeria will be able to get out of this quagmire, because to correct this kind of confusion we're engulfed with takes a lifetime. The present generation of Nigerians cannot survive it. And if it continues like that, the country will certainly break up. I'm not saying that I pray for the breakup of the country, but it is glaring that the country unquestionably will break up if we continue like this. That's just what I have to say. Nigeria is a joke. Now, the country is already a nuisance to the Committee of Nations, because I do not expect a man like Bola Tinubu to stand face to face with Cyril Ramaphosa to discuss serious issues, or the Senegalese president, the young boy there. Because when these guys are reasoning, you see that they have a clear sense of that. Direction. But look at. The country is hopeless. The country is completely finished. And as I've said, these are signs of a breakup of the potential breakup of the country. So there's no need for me to comment on particular issues happening in the country. There are tens of thousands of anomalies in the country. Where should we start from? Is it the roads, the hospitals, the justice system, security? You name it. There are events happening every day, and nothing good, no good news is coming out of the country. So that is just it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. James. Yeah, Tony.
Good evening, my brother KJ. James, is it good night? My brother Ovie, greetings. Good afternoon. Those who are listening, greetings to everybody. Thank you for letting us in for discussion today. Yeah, quite a lot of things in the polity and here in America. First of all, the bad news that former Chief Justice of the Federation, Mr. Mohammed Wike, passed on. So rest in peace. We also have heard that the Zambian president, passed on at the age of 68. In Nigeria, the judicial workers who went on strike over the implementation of the minimum wage and some other allowances, have, called off their strike. So maybe we'll be expecting the trial of Puti, Natasha Uduaghan to continue to start. Defections, former governor Potting, a governor of Potting, a governor of Akwa Ibom State with 26 members of the House of Assembly. But 3 commissioners have been brave to say, we're not going to go with you. And in spite of the fact that he gave 250 million to some of his supporters, they still booed him, when he addressed town hall meeting, disapproving of his movement. And then, of course, we thank God for the airpiece near accident. Thank God that that plane landed safely and there are no casualties. Only God knows what would have happened if it did happen. Maybe Nigeria would have been in real trouble. And then, of course, we see the big ones, NLC, Afenifere, scoring the government very low. Altercation between Amechi and Wike, which played. Umahi commending Tinubu for 2 years of successful leadership. And then sadly, you talked about it, flooding in Mokwa and all the people that were lost and missing, and the president not showing up, has never showed up. Went to Casina for a birthday party, but he has never showed up to any of these casualties, whether in Benue, whether in anywhere in the country, which is unfortunate, even though we made the donation of 2 billion. Then, of course, you talked about the commissioning of the so-called 30 kilometers road, which is controversial. A lot of things to talk about that. And then if you come down here to where we are now, we see Trump and Elon Musk, the differences between them now gone personal, and everybody firing at each other. We also see the ban, travel ban on 12 countries. When I was looking at it, I saw that 7 of them are from Africa, 5 from Asia, and other places, but none from Europe. And then there were those that were still put on partial ban, and you still have Africa, more in those places. So I don't know what's happening. So let me just stop there so that others will continue. There are some of the issues that I see. There are so many others too, but let me stop there so that others can contribute.
All right, thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Yes, some of those topics we will discuss. I don't know what happened. I was trying to get those Trump, and Elon Musk stuff to come up, but somehow my system just, around midnight, just shut to, refuse to download anymore. So I'm having to manage what I have, and we'll go ahead. As we go ahead, we'll see how we can put all that into play.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me just add that there was a protest in LA over ICE deportation. I saw that on the video. Yes. I think those who are in California can speak to that. Yes.
Yes, I saw it. And the arrest of people in the court who have gone for their court proceedings. I saw that and I felt it's a bit. I think that's an overdrive. Anyway, let me hear from technology Okay, whatever. Okay. Oh, na
Yeah.
politics.
You
Even
see,
the name na politics. Even the name na politics.
yeah. When you
Which
when you
name
when
no
you
go fit call bros me? Come on, man,
when you
relax. Calm
when you
down.
when you dress like animal anatomy journalist,
Ah,
where
so you
they
say we
put
tie
it
you.
for us.
Make we dey tie you. We don't tie
you,
guys. Now a black man dey drink tea for this hot afternoon.
you dress like an animal anatomy journalist. Come here, they put it.
How can we do now?
Eh?
At least he no go fit say that one of me because I didn't read that more anatomy. You know, but you see, Ovie, that is an interesting topic. It's an interesting thing. If you come to the West, they don't ask you. What they look for is, can you do what you have been asked to do? Nobody's asking you for a certificate. I have not gone to anywhere they ask me for a certificate. Rather, it is people who say, oh, I read this and I read this. Say, really? You know, but most of the time, nobody gives. I mean, these people are using these things to, and I don't have anything against education, but because Hosseini Rufai Hosseini has animal husbandry as first degree, doesn't make him not to be able to write. That's also a special area where journalists, strive on that, So I don't see anything wrong with it. I think he just, like I said, he just came to gaslight them and they fell for it,
You know, knowledge has no boundary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, sir. All right.
Because you have to blame the Hussein himself. Now he bring himself that low, right? For person to the before people will begin question what this person even study said. That means something is not adding up, right? So, but this happened in the midst of now fight. But what thing I take from that drama is, for Nigeria, one person tell you, say, see your life. You understand? They see your life. So that guy, the lying guy, the guy came to see your life, right? So and they all expose their lives. So now the way to say take carry himself. When they say when an old man put in blockers for ground, picking go use and play. You understand? So you said the issue should not be about Abati, it should be about his principle for another. Then you turn around and tell her and say, what about your 20 million fraud? Like, you are a journalist. Why would you concern? You wonder how they accuse you rich.
I agree with your argument.
That's why you have to give it to you have to give to Dr. Amechi. Maybe never they hot shit like that before anyway, but the man tell him this is an interview, it's not an interrogation. Why are you interrogating me? The man has the right to actually in the event of defending his principle to actually point at people who make derogatory statement about his principle, which is Abati. So there's nothing wrong with what the man is doing, accusing Abati. Abati have 1 million opportunities to come and respond. Moreover, nothing the man said that is not out there in public. So Husseini, okay, not only Husseini did there now. There are three of them. But what about that? Are those people not journalists? Or are they more professional? Did they go into professional journalism than Rufai? No, but they just understand they come. If that's this best where he comes, so he came here with a plan. But I better respect myself and the sanctity of the office, which is pretty much that's why the only thought they don't speak for us. When people say they speak to power. Which power? What is the power? That is the power itself. You cannot if you are speaking to power, you don't go there. So it is very, it is funny, right? That's what TV is about. It's all about entertainment. It's all about distraction. So imagine, we started with a very serious point that Mr. James is trying to make, right? Yeah. Instead, now drama will deceive our national TV, right? So it's an agenda play. All those are just distractions, just noise, right? The real deal is happening before our own barrier. So that's why they put them there. They know why they assemble those kind of characters. It's not big necessarily because they are the best among Nigerians, but they fit the script. And that's why now just distraction. They have nothing to but. Most importantly, the man came and just exposed them. That's what it's about. And I think he succeeded. He deserved a pay raise. If I be weak here, I said that guy deserved a pay raise.
Yeah.
He did it very well.
All right. Femi, yes, you have any observation or more to add to what we're going to discuss?
I think if you notice for the last, good morning, by the way, or afternoon. I think if you observe, there's been the same, more or less the same central topics or things that have been in the news. It's Trump, it's the issue, the Gaza, Palestine, Israel issue, it's the Ukraine, Russia issue, and of course, our dear country, Nigeria. You saw what happened this past week in terms of the what's it called, the strike, the drone strikes by Ukraine, and I don't know if those that follow mainstream media, which as you would know, you being a journalist, you know you're not getting the real news most times there, especially when it's coming to you from CNN and Fox and what have you. So, and I know the people I follow, so I know where we get the proper news, including people that have been ex-CIA, ex-FBI, that know exactly what America has been doing forever. Anyway, and you see the way, whether I like him or not, the way Putin has continued to conduct himself in terms of holding back, because what they did, especially with the fact that the US took itself out of that nuclear agreement, if you recall, what they did and what could have happened, we probably would have ended. I think at the end of the day, I think we're getting to a point where, especially with the professionals who study the nuclear clock, who have put the time to eat reading the clock at 83 seconds to that time, I think we're playing a dangerous game, and maybe humanity would eventually end the world as we know it, and then will become extinct like other wars that probably had beings in them before. And down to Nigeria, during the week I was looking at some paper that was written by I think there were the two professors in Benue regarding Nigeria's debts, how Nigeria got itself in the debt. Previously, I used to think it had to do with when somehow Babangida dragged us into SAP via IMF. You know those stories better than I do. It turns out that the British actually helped on our behalf, had collected a loan when they were still in charge. I never knew that. I just found that interesting. But anyways, so to talk about prosperity, when you said it better than I could, when we're doing the same thing we'll be doing, probably even in a more beautiful way, using one of the words that form the phrase for Trump's big, beautiful bill. We think that what we're doing is actually beautiful right now, in the sense of using one hand to pay the COVID-19 IMF fund, and on the other hand, we quickly see we'll be all right. Anyway, I think we will be all right. Eventually, like I keep saying, at some point, like my cousin typically would say, when Nigerians get tired, we'll forget about tribalism and what's it called, and we'll actually give them the Arab Spring treatment. But besides that, there's nothing much to say. Say less. Say no more.
Thank you so much. And
that I think Russia actually retaliated as at yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
And they're just starting. I think they're still compiling the list, according to Ray McGovern and Scott Ritter and co. I think they're still especially when you look at Lavrov, that who's described as probably the prime foreign minister in the world. They're taking their time. They're giving it slow poison. They're taking their time. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. And that is what I've always said. I said those who think that this guy in Russia is a pushover, or the Russian army is a pushover, they have a lot coming for them. These people have set their system ready for this moment. They knew it was going to come. They're not like us who go to sleep. These people knew that this time is going to come someday, and they'll be ready waiting for it. So let nobody deceive us and say that, oh, they don't know. No, they know. And, it's only we, people like us from that continent, where we see an event come to pass and some telltales are pointing towards that direction, and we don't take caution. We don't advise. We continue to guide in that direction, hoping that magic will happen one day. but magic's not going to happen. And so, righteous man, I see you, but let me go to Mazi Okpara first, who has been coming in and going out. I think his network is not stable. So, Mazi, you're welcome. What's your initial comment? Do you have any addition?
Actually, yeah, because you're right, my device is messing up. My network is just fine. Just the whole thing is just messing up. I'm fine. Good evening, everyone. KJ, Righteous Man, my brother from Lagos, Tony, and Mr. James, Femi, all of you. Democracy versus what? The cruelty. My man, good evening from here. I'm okay. Actually, I just entered now and I didn't pick up the whole thing. So let me continue hearing. Let me just give a little chance and I'll come back.
Okay. Righteous Man.
Yeah, KJ, good evening, and all the panelists. I, just like my brother just said, I don't understand the topic, or I have not read the captions of what we are to discuss today. But I want to assume we are talking about the impending Third World War. Am I right?
Well,
it don't start. It's no longer impending. It's been on motion for a minute now.
Okay, we are not going to. So
yeah, because I was watching some documentary recently, and I tuned to BBC News, and I saw their Prime Minister reassuring the British citizens of their readiness for war. And it's like budgets have been made, and they're recruiting people from Africa, especially Nigeria and some English-speaking countries, giving them free distance between some certain age, recruiting them if you want to join their military and so on and so forth. So with what is happening in Russia today, Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Hamas, and Iran and Houthis, with what is going on with China wanting to take over Taiwan and the rest of it, and Trump reassuring the Taiwanese of the readiness of America to defend them. I think we are at the very early stage of Third World War, at a very early stage, but it can be prevented. One thing I know from history and nature is that after some centuries of an empire existing, another empire or another world power will emerge. If you look at the USA today, USA is declining seriously, but the glory of the US has blinded the eyes of those who live in America to discover that America is declining. If you see the inflation rate and what is happening in America today, I was hearing the Brazilian president. I was listening to Canadian, the Prime Minister or the President of Canada. He said they are moving towards China and India. They are going to abandon US very soon, if not immediate, very, very soon. So it's like attention of the world is shifting to India and to China. And it's going to affect dollar. And once that happens, once dollar collapses, the empire called America is gone, So it's a signal. I think something is going to happen. It may not be immediate, but it's not going to last in the next 20 years. There will be a shift. So that's what I have preliminary to say at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Righteous Man. But I want to just say, you see, looking at the way it is, America is going to take more than what you just said for America to, to crumble. I can tell you that much. Because the people love their country. And the people love people who stand in the path of truth. You see, once a country is concerned about certain standard, it's to be difficult, except God decide that, okay, it is done for this nation, but it's going to be difficult. The reason why most nations collapse because
KJ, please, can I interject a little? KJ.
I'm coming. 1 minute, sir. In our country right now, we don't even have common laws. Everybody, depending on which section of the country you are, your law is different. The action towards you is different. So how then do you have a national, interest? How then do you now see yourself fighting on behalf of your nation? It becomes difficult for you to say you are a patriot. But in this country, I can tell you, if you come to July 4th, I will go to the street and take pictures for you. You see them mounting their country flags on their. In fact, they form a parade. And anybody who lives in America will have seen it more than once. They form a parade. Nobody's paying them. This is their own gas, their money. They are putting their flag. They bought to themselves. They mount it behind their thing and drive around. They don't shout. They don't sing on your mandate to stand. They shout. What they shout is USA, USA. They don't shout on your mandate. They don't go to the National Assembly and go and sing on your mandate to stand. They don't. Who are you? They don't. In fact, they don't even care which position you are. And so it becomes difficult because, let me tell you something. Today, I went somewhere before this program to go and buy, the restroom has need to change the seating for it. And I went there, guess what? I want to take a picture and play here, but these people move their children to those, they call it Home Depot. They are teaching them how to make chairs by themselves, make cupboards, make this. All of them, guess what? Everybody who is there was white guy and their children doing that design. And I guess that's what they do every Saturday, because my first time of going there on Saturday. Next week, they will be there. And then you think people, are they going there to read book? No, they're telling them that, you see what? If you want to join a wood, this is how you join it, this is why you cut it, this is how you do it. And the children will do their own miniature ones. My brother, that is why everything here is do it yourself. And so a nation that's prepared, they already seen what is coming. It's difficult. The problem with Africa is that we're not even truthful ourselves. But let me leave it there because I'm not
KJ,
let me hear you.
Please let me say something. KJ, you know that I personally like the man called Trump because he's blunt, he's a man of his own, but some certain decisions that Trump has taken, if he did not reverse it, it would be the fastest track of bringing America down. I am telling you, if you go by history, there is no empire that lasts forever. No empire has existed forever. Empires come, world powers come, and they go down. And don't rule out, no matter how the citizens love their country, when it is time for a country to go down, it will go down. And what Donald Trump is doing today, if you check it very well, if he is not checked and called to order, it is going to bring down America. No matter how you try to kind of color it, the truth is, with what is on ground today, other countries of the world, no tree can make a forest. Other countries of the world are shifting away from America. Even the greatest ally of America, which is Europe, they are turning their back from America. China, Canada, every country is moving out of America because they see that America wants to portray themselves as God of the world, and they want to resist it. And the cause of that is Donald Trump. Unless he revises most of these steps he has taken, give it years to come back. I'm just telling you the truth. He's my man. I like him, but he has taken wrong decisions. Thank you.
All right. Let me
I just man, stay away from news for at least 6 months.
All right.
Yeah.
Jester, go ahead.
Thank you, KJ, and everybody here. Maybe my view will be controversial. I feel sad. It breaks my heart when I see Africans bothering themselves about other countries. In Africa, we spend our time on fables. We believe so much in fables, folklores, tales by moonlight, predictions. That's why we listen to all these prophets. And the truth about it, that it has not brought any developments for us. Evidence-based things, we don't do it. That's why Tinubu will come and commission a 700-kilometer road. I will commission 30 kilometers, knowing that we believe fables. That 5 years down the line, he will say he built a 700-kilometer coastal highway, and nobody will go and check. We are here. I mean, look, don't care about Donald Trump. Whatever America, whether he wants to be great, let it be great. Why are we bothered about whether America will break down in 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, when our country is a bullshit?
Dexter, but this is how you say, and people.
I'm having my say.
I know we're discussing topics. No, don't disregard people. We're discussing topics.
Yeah, I know. I'm just. My point is.
Yeah, you can't tell us how to talk, please.
I'm not telling anybody how to talk.
Yeah,
all right,
don't tell us that. That's what you're telling us, please.
Okay, let me say also.
I agree, but you don't tell us how to talk.
Let me have my say. My point is.
Yeah, thank you,
guys. It's too early. We have.
Yeah, I know. See, I want to stop this disrespect.
I'm not attacking anybody.
Yeah,
I'm not attacking anybody.
No. You are.
Okay, if you feel attacked.
If I wasn't here, it's a different thing. I don't know about the others who are elders anyway.
Okay, anybody who feels hold on. If you feel offended by what I said, I apologize. But let us keep it civil.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. My point is this: the Western world has moved forward based on data, based on science. They have moved very far ahead, and what it's not about here, it's about everywhere. And I talked about how in Africa it's about tales, and we so much believe in all these things. The story of how Nigeria went to play India and the Indians were playing by barefoot and they scored 100 goals. These stories. I'm not going against anybody. But my point, I think at a point in time, for everybody that has come here, the internet, the guys that came, that brought about the internet, about networking, it's about sitting down and look. It's the truth about it is that this knowledge is available to all of us. It is mathematics, it is physics, and the difference is that the Western world, they are doing something productive, so very productive, purposely, evidence-based checks. But for me, when I look at the way we operate in Africa, it seems we are more interested in the stories of things rather than in concrete. And it's unfortunate. It's not like we don't have professionals. Africa, we have professionals that have gone around the world, gone to Russia, gone to South Africa, and they know these things. However, you have a chunk of us, instead of us getting down to making things work so that we don't have to be bothered so much about what. Example, look at China today. China don't care about whether America want to be whatever. Why are you bothering about that? America released ChatGPT. China released DeepSeek. The truth about it is that why it pains me so much. In the whole world today, Nigeria is sitting on a gold mine of human resources. The youngest population in the world today is Nigerians. That is a gold mine. Well, it seems like we are not even ready to harness it. But look, you can have a gold mine. If you don't mine it, somebody else will come and mine it for you. Tomorrow you will now start saying, oh, they are taking my gold. But you had the gold mine. That's the way I see it.
All right, so maybe that's where we start from. Well, let's start from home. I was thinking we'll start from America, but since you have talked about our gold mines that we're not mining ourselves, maybe that's a good place to start. And I say that to say that we are the only nation in the world where we don't know where our president is from. We don't know the members of his family. We don't have a history of when he was 10 years old, 20 years old. We don't have a history of where he comes from, which village. We don't have a history of who are his children, how many wives does he have. Nobody knows anything. Everything about him is shrouded in secrecy. Yet, we sometimes want to criticize other people who can tell where their presidents are from and who their presidents have been and they can give you a record of who they are. Having said that, let's get ready to discuss our first as we come back from this break. Okay, here we go.
So far, on the 30 kilometers that will be commissioned on 25th of May. This is what I come here to find out. You see what they've achieved. I will ensure I cover them. According to the Minister of Work, they'll be commissioning 20 kilometers up on this section from this VI down to somewhere in Lekki, that's Okunwaja. Then we'll go to the Lekki Free Trade Zone where they'll be commissioning 10 kilometers on that section. So it's going to be a lengthy one, but I promise you every bit of the time you spend on this video will be valuable. That is my word. I will ensure I keep to it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. As you can see.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Just Ost. Thank you for your contribution. We appreciate your video and your time. I don't want to. We thank that young man who went out there. The one I was actually looking for, I couldn't find, was the guy actually did a physical examination of where the road is, the path they have done, and the path they didn't do. And he calculated it and came to less than 16 kilometers. Gentlemen, I come to Mr. James. Tinubu wants to complete the West East Coast Road. There's the only time I appreciated, what's his name, Chidoka, former road safety man. He calculated how much transport, in how many people will use that road. And he said that that road will not even be able to recover the money in the next 50 years because that road, has the least of transport, the least people traveling through that axis to be able to make that, that quadrum. So the question be, why give such huge amount for this kind of, and a kilometer is 4 point something billion naira. Okay, for a kilometer, just a kilometer. The question be, and it wasn't brought to the public for bidding. The minister said they gave it to this Chagori because Chagori has the expertise nobody else have in Nigeria or in the world. Chagori has done some work with him when he was governor of Lagos State. Consequently, they didn't feel it should be bidded for, and so they gave it to him. What do you say, Mr. James? Is that how it's done in the Gambia?
Well, the Gambia, there is no basis of comparing the Gambia with Nigeria because the Gambia, the whole of the Gambia is just a little bit, in fact, it's Bayelsa State, 13,000 square kilometers. There's no basis for comparing the two countries, and the population is just like that of Abuja, about 2 million, roughly, slightly below 2 million. But however, I remembered when Obasanjo was a military head of state, he commissioned the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and the kilometers then, if I still remember, was 170 kilometers, and it cost 170 million naira. People cried out that it's a colossal waste. It's this, that, although the road is very important, but the amount of money they spent in those days, it was unimaginable. People cried out. Anyway, if at this stage of our development, we are talking about commissioning of roads, when man is exploring space, people are looking for alternative home in space, and we are busy constructing roads. That shows how serious we are. I do not know of any well-developed country like the United States or any of the European countries where a politician will tell the people, if you vote for me, I will construct roads for you, or I will build schools, I will improve water supply. These things are mark of backwardness. And unfortunately, well, the way I say it is that according to, I think, Socrates, he said, the people get the government they deserve. When Nigerians are tired of saying they are tired, they will know precisely what to do. Although I'm not a Christian, but there's a portion in the Bible, a verse in the Bible, which says that the world is passing away, and so are its desires. But he that doeth the will of God remains forever. The world is leaving us. In fact, we've been left behind, far behind. We have the capability to become one of the leading nations of the world. We demonstrated it at a time. Jokingly or laughing, it happened during the military dispensation, not under civilians. When we, with bare hands and diplomacy, dismantled apartheid in South Africa, liberated Zimbabwe, then Rhodesia from colonial subjugation, Mozambique, Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Namibia. We did not fire, a bullet, let alone a ballistic missile. Just with bare hands and diplomacy, we were able to accomplish much. I think somebody said earlier on that we have the greatest resource base in the world. That is the youth. We've deliberately refused to get ourselves organized. And if we are not being organized, well, what I say is that other people will organize us on their own terms. History has shown, as I think somebody also mentioned, that empire rises and falls. What I know in history, particularly during the world wars, is that when the world is getting messy, problems are erupting which man cannot solve, man will deliberately they will create conditions that will favor the outbreak of wars. After the First World War, African territories were shared among the victorious powers, despite the fact that we died in thousands. The same thing was repeated during the Second World War. When the war ended, the victors did not even acknowledge the role African countries played. Nigeria is in a good position to lead Africa, but now, take it or leave it. A country like, I would like to mention any country, any other African country can invade Nigeria today, and because of the degree of disunity in the country, that country is likely to have a smooth victory over Nigeria. Because, frankly speaking, we have no government to start with. But the problem is, where should we start from? It's a mystery I cannot resolve, frankly speaking. From the look of things, it's a revolution that will solve the problem. But most people are scared when we mention the word revolution because of what goes with it. But the word revolution itself does not necessarily mean bloodshed. When you talk of the Industrial Revolution in Britain, there was no bloodshed associated with it. It was a revolution, a radical break from the past. But who is to initiate that break in Nigeria today? I think it's only time that we tell. That is what I've got to say. Because it's terribly hopeless. There's no part of the country that is making any reasonable idea. Unfortunately, we are complaining. For how long should we complain? I do not know. But one thing I know as a teacher is that students who study diligently, preparing for exams, they still find it terribly difficult to pass exams. What about students who refuse to prepare? You see, I think it was Geoffrey Chaucer in Canterbury Tales who said, if gold rusts, what will iron do? Those who prepare could not pass. Those who did not prepare, only God knows what will happen. But however, the most important thing is that if we are unable to get ourselves together, let other African countries take the lead. If South Africa, Zimbabwe, or whatever it is, they're able to come up as a leading country in Africa, they can subjugate Nigeria in the interest of the black man. Because if Nigerians are proving to be nuisance to the world community, let another black nation take over the leadership. Ghana was leading. At a point, they fell. Nigeria took over, and Nigeria has deliberately fallen. Let another African country wake up and take over the head of leadership. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much, Mr. James. And I like what you said. If gold it do rust, what will iron do? And that is what I will come to Tony with. I'm coming to Tony knowing that your country has failed us to lead Africa. And Patrick Lumumba, so Patrick, what's his name? The professor, he said in one of his speech that Lumumba, that Africa is waiting for Nigeria to rise, to take his place of leadership. And a young guy made a follow-up of that, saying to him, Africa, if you're waiting for Nigeria, you wait forever. Because Nigeria is the only for Nigeria have slept. So what says you? Because see, my challenge with those who don't want to hear that Nigeria has disintegrated is that we don't even have any no mechanism to bring unity. No mechanism to say, okay, Mr. Tony is aggrieved. How do we address Mr. Tony? And if you doubt what I'm saying, look at the reconciliation going on right now in PDP and all the rest. Do you see anybody trying to reconcile anybody? Instead, they are fighting each other and saying, look, who are you to even be annoyed in the first place? How much did you contribute? Is that how people bring reconciliation in a system? Yes, sir. Tony, I'm waiting for you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. That is what I'll call the Nigerian conundrum. We are busy celebrating things that add little or nothing to solve the problem that we are grappling with. For instance, today in Burkina Faso, from what I read, it just reached a new milestone in oil production, employing a technology that will quickly deliver crude oil, in 24 hours, 55.7 metric tons in just 24 hours. That's a landmark thing. And then it has been able to also up its gold mining extraction by 4%. The impact of that, can easily be seen, in terms of how it transforms the economy of that small place. So, but here we are celebrating so much hype over a 30-kilometer road, that has not been completed, that has so many controversies. And I like to talk about that, because it's a shame, really. First of all, when Umahi came to AIT and he was talking about this road, this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, they said they accosted him and said this road is going to cost $15 trillion. Umahi said no, that they don't know the cost. That's the minister saying he doesn't know the cost of a project that is under him. First of all, the environmental impact assessment was wrong. Probably I don't know who did the geo survey, because a lot of money was done initially in prosecuting and trying to clear the lines for this road. They spent so much money, they destroyed houses, caused a lot of losses for people, took over a lot of land from people, paid little compensation, some didn't get at all. So somebody said he just got 1% of the total value of his land, only to abandon it because they now found out that there were optical cables somewhere along the way. And so they abandoned it, acquired another set of land, diverted the project. That's another spending, excess spending. Okay? And you don't know how much it's going to cost. So you don't know how much. So if you look at the preliminaries already, it has cost you a lot of money outside whatever you projected initially, if there was a projection. And then two, even in the bidding process, there was no bidding, in a country like Nigeria. Just decided that just only one person in the whole world could do this because he was able to relocate the Mami water that was troubling the Atlantic Ocean and almost trying to consume the whole of Victoria Island. And that's like you are talking to people who are silly, who are dummies, when we know that that's not true. The Nigerians are savvy. They are, they have the technology. Even Julius Berger, according to them, couldn't even do it. And then you just point to this thing, that somebody who has been working with you did, And if you look deep, you find out that there are some interests, of certain people who are connected to government in that company, So it's sad when we celebrate all those things. Now, if you come proper, somebody, you play the video. I watched the video, previously, where someone decided to go and investigate to find out how true, in terms of what we are hearing, in social media and what government is saying, how much road has been constructed, and like you said, KJ, from Victoria Island to Eleko roundabout, that's supposed to be 20 kilometers of road, and from the assessment, what is done is less than 20 kilometers. And then from Eleko roundabout to the current location, it's supposed to be 10 kilometers. What is done is less than 7%, about 6.8 kilometers, they say. So this, from what I understand, if you put it together, they say it's 26.2 kilometers of road. And it's not a long stretch, it's broken down. So out of 750, some say 700, that tells you clearly that people don't even know what the figures are. They don't even know the length of the road if you're going to have these controversies, for something that is really measurable. That's the kind of government that we're saying. And someone is celebrating and telling you that they have done. How can you be commissioning that as a project? Now, if you take the cost, whatever is going to be the cost, it's going to be told. Because government input is just 30%. And then a private company is investing wherever it's getting money, 70%. It doesn't have that money. It's going to borrow that money. So it's going to transfer the cost and the way it is to the common people. And it's going to be told. It's going to get it through tolling. And we're not sure that this road is going to be completed in the next 2 years. Within the tenure, in the next 2 years, within the first tenure of this government, we're not sure. And then if you add inflation and naira, volatility and so on and so forth, you don't know what the project is going to be. So, and then someone said, if you look at the traffic, compare it to other roads, will you say that this road is the most important project, that will generate money or impact the lives of the people? Is this road going to do that? Yes, the road transverses 9 states, coastal states. Yes, the road provides a new outlet out of Lagos, so it will decongest. Because the other day, you see the Lagos-Calabar Expressway was jam-packed. So maybe it will reduce the stress, but you have not finished it, so people can't go on it. So how long is it going to take to finish the road? We don't know. Nobody has told us it's going to take 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, or 10 years, 20 years to finish. We don't know all those things. So planning is a problem. Procurement is a problem. Yet somebody is smiling away with a lot of money in his pocket. What kind of country? What kind of nonsense? It's a big shame. It's a big shame. Let me just stop there since we're talking on the coastal road.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. And I'm coming to all our politics. Is this coastal road the most important thing that Nigerians are yearning for right now? And of what value will this coastal road be to the ordinary Nigerian? And by the way, I want to put it in context. David Omai destroyed people's business, saying that it was because they are going to use the shoreway, the shore. But now they left the shore, they gave themselves a free passage, and they moved right almost into the land. So you still have that shoreline. Okay, so they've recovered land for themselves, or that allegedly they recovered land that is right now in government ownership that nobody is occupying. Are they going to give it back to Landmark, or they're going to now give it to other people, or they're going to now take it for themselves? Remember I said, of what value would this coastal road be adding to the ordinary Nigerian in the street? Thank you.
As somebody from South, I think in my lifetime, that's the most important project that I have seen initiated. Now, the controversy of completion, money, that's the Nigeria. That's Nigeria. But in terms of the idea of that road, in my lifetime, I think that's the most important physical infrastructure so far initiated by the Nigerian government, I think the APC-led administration. I think I am saying that because people tend to want to see the value of physical development in terms of the nation state like this. No, the idea of a federal government is to actually look beyond is either administration or the generation that are alive at this moment. In other words, look 50 years, 100 years ahead. So people will say it's not going to generate traffic, no money. Yes, for now. But at the same time, these are the same people that will project to you, that will put to you, like anatomy journalists, directly, that by the year 2050, Nigeria will be 400 million in population. Now, only Meduguri and Kano, this population won't come from. I mean, let's be realistic. We might not like the person will bring the idea how the money that will go, whatever, all those ones, yeah, I agree. But to say that that road is of no value is not important, I disagree. Totally disagree. If I can wake up from a source of my village, come down on top rock, and maybe enter keke, enter boat, join from Benin, enter Lagos under 2-3 hours. You say it's not the value to me. To you, yes, because maybe you don't live in that region, you don't see what the people in that region are. I mean, if you can get, if a person with the creek of Niger or anywhere can wake up in the morning and know that he or she can access Lagos within 5 hours, and you can't beat that. I think one thing I love so much about the country I live in, which is America, I feel enter car will close my eye, drive from Texas to any part of the country that will take 40 hours. Anywhere. No fear, nothing. Last I can afford to keep fueling my car. You know, I not see the value of that because you know be trader, you know be team. But people who like freedom, who understand the modern world. When my father was my age, in the dream, I go from my village, reach Kano. You go take and see so maybe 3, 4, 5 months. And somebody see beyond today and say, okay, this road might be useful for the next generation to come. I would say, no, we are selfish. As I said, we might not agree with the amounts, with all the whatever that is coming out. Yes, we might disagree, but the idea, the initiative, I mean, it's a plus. Especially when we have a group of leaders who their goal is not to actually build a state, but to manage the territory that was given to them on behalf of those people that were given to them. Anything we can give us, even if it's small, we will think about. As I said, I don't like the politics or whatever that goes with it. It is not for me to control, but the initiative, the idea, I celebrated it. You know, be able to this when that thing hits the airwave, I celebrated it. I agree with everybody that seems to disagree. I say, come, I might not be alive when that will be completed. Let's be serious. I mean, the bridge that led to the east is still there. That was started before I was born, and it's still there. So I might not be alive when the road will be completed. That's a given. But the fact that they say that the idea is not, it's not positive, it's not good, or we don't need that now. We don't need that now when we need that. We need that yesterday. Everything that we have now, we need that yesterday. Yes, other contemporaries are nobody said they conceive with that. That's where we are. Now where we find ourselves. Now it's our action and inaction that led us to where we are. That even though we will largely blame the idea of leadership. That's why I totally disagree with the phrase of leadership we are problem. It's not about leadership. That phrase was they put that phrase before us every day so that we keep recycling them. The country as it is has no vision. It is not, they don't get any direction. Nation state, they get stages. You get your political freedom, you get your economic freedom. You know they come at the same time. There are very few countries you can point at that has those at the same time. America itself, you don't get the economic freedom until after almost 40-something years after they don't get independent before British finally leave them. So there are stages to this game. Our leaders are not looking to that direction. That is because there is an ideology clash between those people that were given the country to. Which direction is it going to go? Socialism, communism, capitalism, that's even by the way, but most importantly, who is going to lead?
Okay.
What ideology is at the top? So that is the fight that we're on at the beginning. Before the American came within the 60s, They saw that people and hatched on it and decided to seize their own dominance of the economy, because that's what it's all about. So we see a leader who are not even ready to actually rescue the economy, because what they are getting is peanuts. And for the fact that they are now letting the shop, but that's why they are still struggling. If we see we have leaders who are ready to rescue, get economic freedom, then we can know where we go. Then we can begin to say, this one will no good, this one will not do, this one will do. But as far as we concerned, the whole country is being governed by leaders who are not interested in that. They are interested in managing the system as it is. That's why they do turn by turn. That's what turn by turn is all about. It's nothing. I just do your part, don't reach my turn. That's also the conception, the idea, welcome it. Every other political advisory can be debated, but the fact that that road is, I mean, I'm ready to take anybody on that. That road is not important. It is.
I agree with you. The road is important as long as there are Nigerians who are there, irrespective of what it is. Mr. Femi.
Yeah, so I'll take it from where Ovie stopped. I've been conflicted right from the beginning, but for me, so long as the loan money that they're collecting, yes, we know that there's still going to be some corruption. That's almost like a given. And granted that it probably will take 10, 15 years, like, you know, the way Nigeria works, you know how long it took to conceptualize and finish the second Niger bridge from stolen money, which somehow was part of it, probably was stolen, but at least it was eventually completed. Same thing with the third mainland bridge as well, which took quite a while, but at least again it was completed. Yes, on one hand, there's a lot of bad roads, trunk A, trunk B, trunk C, what have you. I mean, after all, what are the state governors themselves doing, and do we even have a local government which matters directly to the people? Again, so long as it's completed, one day, eventually there will be a need for some alternate routes. That's on one hand. On the other hand, I also want to tie something to even the greater conversation of the world, because definitely we do not live in a vacuum. And that's why when we talk about general topics, we're part of a whole ecosystem. We're not in isolation. So a lot of what happens in Nigeria, a lot of it is by design. So that's why it's important when we talk about other things. But that said, my only other fear, again, still tied to the fact that these are loans that are taken from the IMF, because when you look at how, again, SAB came to be, there are people that are directing us to do certain things that are injuring us, not just when it comes to the coastal road, other things as well. So, I mean, I just want to rest my case by saying, again, whilst I'm conflicted, I may not necessarily like Tinubu, just like I had a problem with Buhari, despite the thoughts of him being incorruptible. But in this case, so long as they finish it, I think it's going to be a plus eventually, especially considering the fact that we're trying to take out traffic, since we find it difficult to make the other ports usable. So maybe that's a way of decongesting. What's it called? And it's definitely, for those that know economics even better than I do, it's going to result in some kind of like economic activities along that stretch all the way to the south. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Mazi Okpara. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Please,
sir.
let us get this thing straight. Please, we live in civilized world. We should know how things are done over here. Such, huge project should be discussed in the parliament, should be discussed with Nigerians. There should have been town hall meetings, because this is a very, very expensive project that should have been discussed not only months, but even years. Because some people, that project has ruined their lives forever. That project has condemned a lot of ancestral lands. Here where I live, such projects, let me tell you, could even take 30 years, maybe, both courts, process and everything before it will be, consigned or signed off. You just woke up early in the morning, just the way he said subsidy is gone. You woke up early in the morning and you award this kind of contract. There was no betting, there was no interaction with the people, and you said this is it. Before you know it, they start destroying people's properties, people's lives, and we are here, praising that kind of mundane, draconian, system. It's not well with me. We need growth everywhere in Nigeria, but everything should go accordingly. KJ, this clip you played, that young man, objective media, that guy did what even Rufai was saying about all of them couldn't do. This guy went to see what these people commissioned. They commissioned, charade, sham. And this is money that all of us are going to pay. Our children are going to pay it back. I'm not against any project that will alleviate our people's suffering, but let it be accordingly. Let it be done, democratically. That is what I'm trying to say. You gather this kind of people, you gather them, you celebrated. Some of them flew from Abuja, from all the whole APC governors, just to, push themselves into a house, a hall, commission that thing, and left. And Nigerians are clapping, and those things is not existing. For example, over here, when a road is commissioned, that means that road is open for services. That means that road is completed. Last week, let me tell you, last week here, one of the most expensive bridge was opened here in Rensford, here in Germany. 40 tons, heavy bridge. In fact, one of the biggest in the whole, if not, in fact, 70 meters high. The person who commissioned was the mayor of that city, not even the governor. The mayor and the Strasbourg, Google it. It was Strasbourg that constructed that bridge. The chairman of Strasbourg and another company, the daughter company, and the Burgermaster means mayor. They are the people that commissioned this thing, and people were moving. Vehicles start moving immediately. Why are we doing this thing to ourselves? I blame Nigerian media. These journalists are not doing their work. If they were doing their work, that thing wouldn't have been, wouldn't have gone free like that, because those guys just gathered there and messed up the whole thing. Even Abati, when Rufai was trying to let Umar tell us how much is the cost of 1 kilometer in Nigeria, Abati shut him down. It's not done anywhere. It's not done anywhere. That's not journalism. Journalism is what that young man of objective media did. He went there and he told Nigeria, this commission, this thing is never 30 kilometers. It's a charade. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mazi Okpara. You see, I watched that interview where Uban Abati stopped Rufai from finding out from the minister what is the actual cost and how much does it cost per kilometer. Well, you see, the problem with the media is that most of the owners of the media control what goes on there. And so sometimes, even though you may be a sharp, journalist or reporter, they will tell you what you can ask and what you cannot ask. And that's why people like, Precious have left where they used to work, and now she has her own system, because people tell you cannot ask questions, you cannot. They try to gag the people who come into their studio, and then also gag the workers. But I leave Desta to tell us what he sees about the whole thing. Do you think that this rush to commission this thing is because 2027 is coming and they have nothing to show?
Yeah, thank you, KJ. I think it's a rush so that they will have something to show. You know, I think that's the reason why they've commissioned it. Because when the time comes, they will say, "Oh, look at this project we've done." I can understand. Look, this coastal highway. I think the master plan came up. I think it was in the early 2000s. It wasn't. It's not a new concept really, and I think there was a reason, specific reason why Buhari did not touch it. There's some decided not to touch it. I don't think we should do projects, but there's this tendency for us to have this ideology of okay, once the thing concerns me, no matter how it be, as long as say the thing will benefit me, even if they go waste money, it's not a problem. As long as at least my own interest is there. That is one of the ideologies in Nigeria every citizen seems to possess. If the thing is passing through my catchment area, fine. If they want to waste money, as long as I will get my own share, you know, we're not thinking collectively, we're not thinking about efficiency, we're not thinking about effectiveness, we're not thinking about reducing waste. If the coastal highway cost is going to cost Nigeria take the next 100 years to pay up, no problem. As long as, but we should ask ourselves, historically, let us look at the roads in Nigeria. Can we mention one road in Nigeria that from the start point to the end point is pliable right now in the country? We should just ask ourselves that objective question. Can we mention one road in Nigeria that from the start point, that one federal government road, from the start point to the end, typical east-west road, can you ply the east-west road from the start point till you get to Oron? Can you, sorry, you know, can you start it from the beginning to the end? You know, can you start it from
Okay, we'll leave you, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Kandu.
Happy weekend to you all.
Good to meet you, sir. Welcome.
Yes, sir. I think our problems are just, I don't even know what they are. You know, purportedly, Tinubu went to University of Chicago. At least he must have gone there for at least 3.5 years or something. I don't know how many times he saw the governor go and commission a gather or a freeway. You know, these people, a bunch of them have lived outside of Nigeria for years, in the Middle East, in the Americas, in Europe. I mean, I don't really whether the highway is beneficial. Obviously, in the long run, it will be beneficial. There will be commerce. Commerce will hopefully um, um, get things being moved from one part of the country to another and vice versa. But to even spend the time, the energy, the cost of closing down roads, areas because the president is coming to commission an unfinished road. I mean, this thing is, you've only done what? Even if they have actually done the 30 kilometers, is this the time to be celebrating? I mean, I just don't understand. You know, it's like when you hear, oh, our governor did this for us. It's like, this is not even an issue of being outside of Nigeria. Even when I lived in Nigeria, I've never been able to wrap my mind around things like that. This person is an employee. He works for me or she works for me. You know, it's a mindset. It's a mindset amongst the people. You know, it's the way of thinking, and and I guess it's an individual thing about how you are and how you grew up. I cannot imagine My father never lived outside of Nigeria, but his thought processes were just meaningful, sensible. I was talking to someone in Nigeria this week, and their account, they needed to get another ATM card. The bank with, I think it's Fidelity or whatever the name of the bank is. And for 12 days, this person cannot access their money because their ATM machine that they use to activate the account is not working. And this person is a trader. They buy stuff to sell to make money. So for 12 days, they cannot even they went into the bank and they said they can only give them 50,000 naira. This is somebody that buys 1 point something million worth of goods every 10 days or so to sell. So they've been deprived of an income because your system is not working. You can't go and call your guy and go and get Elon Musk whatever network just to make sure that your customers are taken care of. I remember when I used to work in customer service here. I mean, if my customers are not satisfied, they will hear from me from head office. They know me by name. And again, it's not about being in America, it's a mindset. And why our people are like this? I even had to tell the person, have that branch, have somebody in that branch call another branch, find a branch that the machine is working, and have them give you the name of somebody to go and meet there. They said, oh, they will just tell me to go to another branch. Go to another branch to go and do what? Are you going to pay for Uber for me to drive over there? I mean, people, I just, I think we will get there, but I'm convinced it's probably going to take 50 years for us to get there or more, because the mindset has to change. The fact that you're holding people up, you're holding up development, you're holding up education, business, finance, and you can just waste people. These are wasted years of the Nigerian people's lives. And it's just unfortunately there are no solutions other than time. It's just, I mean, I will be way gone by the time this is resolved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kandu, and you're welcome. We'll not see you for a while, but looking at you, everything's okay with you. So thank God you're here. Yes, okay. Is your mic on? Yes, complete your input, righteous man. Then before we come to I.
Okay, as regard to the coastal road, I think I will answer it this way. I think the opposite of civilized is uncivilized. So the Western world, they are civilized. Nigeria is an uncivilized entity.
Okay, righteous
so you
man,
do not expect.
Hold on, righteous man. Somebody's making noise in your house. Okay, there's a background noise in your house, righteous man. Yeah, my chicken. I do already. Let's invite me now. All right, Desta, please complete your entry.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So what I'm saying is, from historicity, you would kind of know what goes on after. I mean, all of us today, you leverage things like AI. What does it work on? It works on large language models. It works on large data of history. many of us, when we want to go out, we look at our weather forecast. The weather forecast is based on the weather forecast, the data they have from the last 50 years. And then we don't want to, in the Nigerian context, we just want to think about how it's, many times, it just is instant gratification. And that's why I asked the question, can we mention one Nigerian road, whether from Kaduna to Lokoja, from Lokoja to Bayelsa, one major road that from the start point to the end point today, you can enter a car and drive. It's not about saying, oh, the thing will bring about, in quotes, the benefits. Then the truth about it, is it a pleasurable ride for people to drive? Can people actually just drive from Kaduna to even Abuja now? Can people drive from Lagos straight to Abuja? I just drive, you're just driving through. If we can see historically, all we have been doing is cut and join, cut and join, cut and join, cut and join. What is making us to believe today that, oh, this coastal road, the things the government has promised about it is going to come to fruition? Then that's why I say that we tend to believe all these fables. And the truth about it that these politicians know it. Just tell them the stories. Oh, tell them this one is going to happen, that one is going to happen. But evidence-based, evidence. What is the evidence showing you? From the evidence we have in hand today, can we say that that coastal road will be finished in the next 100 years? And you will be able to drive from the start point in Lagos to the end point in Calabar that's just drive through. We should look at it and we can answer these questions by ourselves. We can answer it. And until the truth about, we are not ready as a people for progress if we are not ready to make our decisions evidence-based. That is why somebody who has looted the treasury will come for election and we will still choose the person, even when the evidence suggests that this is what the person's history is. And it goes back to the point that Baba Ahmed made after the elections. Democracy. In fact, development is not for a people who cannot make evidence-based decisions. Who their decisions is driven by emotions, whether it's ethnic emotions, religious emotions, or whatever. Primordial emotions that will drive it. Today, if it's benefiting us, the thing will pass through my village. Okay, so, but what does the evidence say? Tomorrow it might pass through your village, but that might be the worst part of the road, that accidents will be happening everywhere and people's lives will be going there. And this, I don't begrudge anybody. Like I said, the coastal road is not a novel idea. It's not a Tinubu's administration novel idea. But it is a shame that we have numerous roads in Nigeria today that are not functioning, yet we are happy about the coastal road, when the ones we have are not functioning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's the truth. Most of the road we have in Nigeria is not functioning, but yet we are constructing. It would have been more profitable if we have just done the Lagos to Kaduna, Port Harcourt to Maiduguri road, because even a second Niger bridge, which they claim to have commissioned, is not still functional, But we like to tell story. That's what we have concluded. Yeah, Mr. Ike, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir. Go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what is on the plate today. I don't know what you have on the plate.
The plate full. It's just that I don't know whether we'll have the time to tell you all that before we move on.
No, but what are we talking now? What's the first?
About the coastal road that have been commissioned.
Okay.
Out of the 750, they commissioned 30. Out of the 30, it's only actually 16 that is done.
Okay. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Is Nigeria your country, right? where everything is possible, right? I thank God for social media. Days are gone when NTA and TV, NTA and Channel 5 will tell us only what we can see. We have so many ways now that we can see what is going on around us anywhere in the world. From the beginning, we know they have been lying. For me personally, from the beginning, I know they have been lying. This government is confused. This government is afraid. This government is in a campaign mode. They are already, in the mode of 2027. So they're trying to see what is going to stick. But Nigerians are wiser. They told us it's 30 kilometers, but from every available information, we know that it's not true. And your friend Rono Mogri and Professor Woloshe Yinka, they said they drove from 1 point to 30 kilometers. And, social media came out to tell us what is the fact. So you can see that even the people that has credibility have lost their credibility in Nigeria. This government, I don't call it government because they don't represent me. It's an illegitimate group of, criminals that have decided to take over Nigeria. I think that if I were one of the people that are advising this government, what they would have done was to go to a walking visit, not commissioning visit, because you have not done anything. You have not done anything to commission. It's supposed to be a walking visit where governors or president go to see a project that is going on to see how it's going. It's supposed to be a walking visit. But because of the mood that they are, and because of the apprehension of 2027, and because of the fear of unknown, the fear of Mr. P2B is the beginning of wisdom. So it is the problem. So it is what it is. Your brother told Mr. Bola Tinubu, don't listen to us, just give us money. He said, don't listen to what people are saying, just give us money. And even the money that they are using to do the road, they have not even told us. There have not been transparency on what they are doing. They heard the money came about and how much they are spending on each kilometer, right? The day they ask your brother, when that question came from Rufai, he began to cough. And he ended with coughing, right? And the answer was the cough, he was coughing. That is the answer he gave us. So we ate the cough. And that was the end of the story. And your friend Abati decided to play the politics of APC. No, don't forget about it. When you talk about that in another plan, we talk about that another time about how much is the kilometer. My brother, I thank God. Every day I keep thanking God for social media. I keep thanking God for internet. I keep thanking God for technology. That there is no how you can lie yourself away from the fact. Because sometimes when they are making all this on papers and their televisions that cover them, that support them, they think that Nigerians, we are, whatever they tell us, we just believe it. But I thank God. There is nothing that is nothing that is working. I would have advised them to go a walking visit. That's what your illegitimate president should have done. You go to a walking visit, not commissioning visit. What is he commissioning? What is he commissioning? I don't know what he's commissioning. I don't understand what they are commissioning. Right? So it is what it is, my brother. We are captured. We have been captured, and they continue to capture us.
They know that. I have to look in my camera.
And I think that as long as somebody was saying, I think everybody said, yeah, we have so many roads in Nigeria that need government attention, but all eyes is on whatever you call it, that's where it is. And every other road project in Nigeria can go to hell, you know. So it is sad. This country that is called, this country we call Nigeria, I don't know. But I would have advised this government to, what it should have done, to go to inspection. Just walking visit, inspect the project. And if you are impressed with what you see, you can tell the contractors and the Minister of Works, okay, good work, but I want this project from here to here. I need this to be completed. But no, they went on fanfare in an empty land, in a land filled with dust. Even the escaping is not even done already, but they are celebrating. And they told us it's 30 kilometers. But at the end of the day, technology led us to believe that is probably around 16. You know, so Dr. KJ, my brother, what am I going to say? Your brother, they asked him a question. He used cough to answer us, and this is Nigeria for you, because nobody is going to ask him question. Nobody is going to ask him that particular question that Abati didn't want to Rufai Husseini to ask Umai. If it is on internet, I believe that we would have gotten an answer. But because everywhere has been captured, the stream, the what do you call it? The so-called stream media is already in the pocket of they captured the organization. So Abati, we don't know where he's today. Today he's in this side. Tomorrow is in the other side. Next tomorrow is at the back side. Next tomorrow is at the middle side. I don't know where he belongs. I don't know his position in anything in Nigeria. He's only speaking long grammar and quoting laws, quoting Latin and the laws for us to confuse the people who they think that they don't have brain, right? But some of us, we didn't go to school. We don't read good books, but we have wisdom that given to me by God, that I can read by lines of what you're telling me. When you are lying to me, I don't need to go and be a psychology like those who read psychology. But as I'm looking at your mouth, I can tell you that you are lying. So all this story, all this Abati and his group, these people they put in channel television like Shehu and the rest of them, they are just there campaigning for APC. So my brother, forget about your so-called road. I have nothing. They have nothing to show. My problem is that nobody is asking question. The money. We wanted to know how much has been spent. But your brother is telling your illegitimate president, don't listen to us, give us money. So they will continue to give them money. Where would they get the money? They're going to go and borrow the money. Is it not the borrowing that we have borrowed our generation that is how many thousands of generations upon?
Thank you. Somehow we've not been able to touch even half of what we are supposed to discuss, and we have just about 40 more minutes remaining.
No problem. I just want to say that it is what it is. So
yes, thank you so much. Before we bring in Forefather, I just want to let you guys have this advice, and if you are going to Uganda, please bear in mind that
virgins in Uganda. They know that. I had to look in my camera. We don't have virgins in Uganda.
There's something we heard.
Okay, so since you already know that,
the president of Uganda brought 100 cows and kept it that anybody that is a virgin above 12 years old should come and take the cow, and the cows are still there. Nobody have collected the cow. Is it true?
Yeah, it's true. We don't have virgins in Uganda. They know that. I had to look in my camera. We don't have virgins in Uganda.
Okay, so since we can boldly be told that, I'm sure that Ovie is taking note, because I don't know if Ovie is married. So if he's playing toward that direction, you know that that's what they are giving you as a national discourse. Forefather, you are welcome. You have been following us so far. What says thou?
Yeah, greetings, KJ. Thank you for hosting, and greetings all the panelists. I see you all there. Greetings to the chat and the viewers. Obviously, I take I support the way Ovie is looking at this project. I remember some people were saying how Nnamdi Kanu was fighting for the seaport of the South to be built. How that was a good thing because he was reaching out to the South. And I've heard a lot of people make that assertion. But I also noticed that in the current conversation and the previous ones, because this is not the first time we've had this conversation, and people just make excuses for why that construction should not be done. Even when they are all aware, some of all these people have traveled in coastal highways from Nigeria to Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana. It goes all the way to this in Gambia, if I'm not mistaken, or Senegal. It's only in Nigeria that hasn't been built. And I think there is politics going on in Nigeria. That's why it hasn't happened. And we have to ask ourselves why we do what we do. Because you know how they say man plans and the gods laugh? I think when we talk, the politicians laugh at us because they are more aware. Some of us, we don't even see some of our behavior, some of the things we do. If you are not from that region, you are more likely to say it's not relevant. If you are from that region, you are more likely to say it's relevant. How weird is that? How weird is that? Can't we just try as people that are exposed to say, if this project is going to be good for the country, so be it, let it be done. And the idea that it's going to take, even Ovie is saying it's going to take all this lifetime. Goodness, this stuff was done barely for.
I said I don't know. I said I don't know. It means I don't care when they finish. Whatever they finish, that is just good for me. You know, I'm not saying it might take forever. It might in Nigeria today.
So in this thing, because in all the other countries it's been done. I know I traveled on a 2-lane this thing in Togo and many other West African countries, but they've converted it to 4 lanes now in all these countries, so that and within 4 years they did all that in all their countries and all the way. It's only Nigeria where people play politics, and if you look at the way this president has done it, even he's done it mostly in the southwest. Mostly, so in case it's removed in 2027 now, and the next person decides to stall it, it's already done for his own this area. And I don't know why we behave like this, and it's killing the country. You know, when I was arguing that the south and the southeast, and in short, all the part of the River Niger should be the most developed, because that's the part that will profit the country more if you are developing those parts. If you develop the waterways from the south straight to the middle of the country, almost to Abuja, I think that's where it stops. You can have goods travel through waterways. It's cheaper. You don't have to maintain the water. Water takes care of itself. You don't have to fix roads all the time. The goods will just be going in and flowing out. Very efficient. This is what other nations do. But because of politics in Nigeria, and everything has to be placed in Lagos, and we too in that region are very, very myopic. Because my southeastern brothers, I must say, many of you that are here, you keep making an excuse for not building it. You keep making an excuse for not building something in that region because you feel like it doesn't affect you. How is it? Do you know the benefit that will come from having a road? If you check other countries in West Africa, you will see it. The benefit is all there.
Is there anybody from southeast who have said that road is not useful in this discussion?
No, they are all saying it's not a good idea. It's a waste of money. You should use it for some other area. Yes. They are all saying the same thing. While the other people that are not from there will just say they want it to be done. Pardon?
I don't think anybody have said that.
You have said that before. Dexter has said that. Mazi has said that. Who else? I can name them. They are all saying the same thing. You know that.
Forefathers. That's why whenever you come here, your distance against southeast is obvious on your face or in your mouth.
You are the opposite trouble.
Excuse me, your disdain. Excuse me. You brought Nnamdi Kanu here. Nobody spoke about Nnamdi Kanu here. What Nnamdi Kanu was talking about was even the seaport, not even the coastal something. But please, your disdain on Igbo people is on your face, is in your mouth. Thank you.
I'm trying to get you to be.
Excuse me. I have seen Northerners condemning this thing. I've seen Southwest, even South people talking against this coastal project. You are coming here to tell your brothers from Southeast. He said, I mean, please give me a break.
Look at that. You don't want to hear it now. But
Forefather, sorry, I think you've taken things out of context.
Oh, come on. This guy is anti.
Yes, If I tell
Horrible.
you are taking something out of context, you can take
Horrible.
it
Is
out
it
of
by
context.
coincidence that Ovie,
Yeah.
the only person I know from that region, is the one that son clearly
Excuse me,
it wasn't his
even
wife
Tony,
that said he was
Tony
gonna want
spoke
it.
against it. Even Tony was here. Even James said about it. Is Tony not from South?
Calm down. Do you see the irony?
Let
Do you see the irony of the
Hold on,
situation?
we'll come back to forefather. Mr. James, you have been here for a while.
I've not even finished my
No,
statement.
we are coming back to you. I've not taken your time, please. Don't be. You still have your time. Maybe there's a question or a clarity coming. Yeah, go ahead.
You mean me?
Yes, Mr. James, go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much, because I'm really eager to sign out. It's now 7 p.m. in the Gambia. I think this will be my concluding remarks.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Ovie mentioned that in his lifetime, no major project has been commissioned in that part of the country. Remember, what's it called? Alaja Steel Complex. It was commissioned by either Shagari or Bassett.
Well, that was not my lifetime. They never bought me that time, I think.
Okay. What about Ogoro, the power station? Saple?
What year was that? Anything before 80s, they never bought me.
What about petrochemical industry worry? Not the refinery, petrochemical industry worry.
See, Mr. James, Mr. James, when I'm making that petrochemical, now that it's you that is saying it, for me to not even be aware of it, it says a lot about the significance.
The point I want to make is that resources are scarce. So we should not waste whatever we have, no matter how much or the quantity at our disposal. Resources are scarce. When they are telling us they are going to spend billions of billions to construct a highway from Lagos to Calabar, there's cause to worry because so many children are out of schools. We don't have hospitals and so many other things. If this money can solve quite a lot of problems, why wasting it? This is what I'm after.
But that's not why we have the issue we are having. With the road or without the road, can't we work and chew gum at the same time?
Somebody was mentioning waterways, water transportation. If the country is industrialized, if we pursue invest on engineering, we can come up with ocean-going vessels. If you want to go to
building road is at the foundation of industrialization. How do you industrialize without roads?
Excuse me. We have roads already in Nigeria, which we are not maintaining. What is the guarantee that when we construct this, we will maintain it? Then, secondly, if we can develop our waterways. Remember when Ogbemudia was the governor of Benue State, there was what they call the Delta Boat Yard Warri. He constructed roads in what is now Edo State. In the riverine areas, there was waterway. He developed the waterways. That was the trick the man used. Maybe because of lack of resources. The issue is that we are wasting money. This money that is so opaque that you don't even know how much it will cost at the end of the project.
Well, Mr. James, that money will be wasted with the project or without the project. We are talking about a class of people who don't. We are talking about wasted as if that's our culture. That is where the criticism is. How we manage our resources, not the project.
We should condemn embezzlement in this totality. If they will use it to construct something or whatever it is, as long as there are traces of embezzlement, it should be condemned unequivocally. That is the point I'm making.
We do that every day. There's nothing they do without embezzlement. Everything. There's nothing they do without embezzlement. So I don't understand why.
I'm signing out.
Okay, sorry, Mr. J.
What is his name? Buhari commissioned a completed refinery. We were not happy with him, and this is happening again. This nonsense should come to a final word. We have better things to do as a country.
Exactly. When Buhari went to Bauchi and Gombe and did that thing, everybody condemned it because that was a phantom project, and any phantom project should be condemned. Whether in the Igbo land, whether in Hausa land, whether everywhere.
See, why would they deceive ourselves? We condemn ourselves every day. When has anything changed? Maybe something is wrong with us.
Excuse me.
So, how does condemnation help us? We condemn things every day. Let's change. That's our problem.
What we condemn what is condemnable.
Look,
okay?
We should be ashamed of ourselves as Africans if we are still talking about road construction. We are
exactly
about road.
Exactly.
Man is exploring space for an alternative home.
So because we failed to do it yesterday, we should not do it today. How do we play?
You're not getting it. You're not getting the argument. You're not getting it. You're not getting it.
Let him conclude.
Then make me understand, please.
Okay. So
let him conclude, please. You cannot understand if you don't let him speak.
Thank you all very much for the time. It has been very nice being with you. Mr. KJ, I will contact you over something which probably you are aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you are aware of what I'm talking about.
Okay, yes, I guess so.
Thank you so much indeed. Good night, everybody.
KJ,
yes, sir.
KJ, can I just come in? Sorry, I had to go out because my it looks like I was having problem with my signals.
Actually, it's if you allow for further, then after that you can come in. Are you in a hurry?
I just wanted to address some of the things that forefather said, because I have a few issues with what he said, that I just wanted to address. So you can pull up.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yes, I think we are overlooking something. Desta did allude to that, and Mazi Okpara also did mention it. How can you start a project without planning, without adequate information, without going through procurement process as defined by the Constitution? A project of such a magnitude has to go through the process. The Senate didn't approve it, and just one person or a few individuals just came. That's not a country. You can do it in your father's house. You can do it even in your company. You will discuss it before a board. The lives of so many people. You just don't wake up one day and just do what you like. There's a project that is ongoing since 2015 or 16. That is the coastal road that is supposed to link about 13 countries for transferring Nigerians gas, linking Nigerian gas through the coast up to Morocco so that it can be exported to Europe. Now it's taking a long time to do all the survey. All
I hope you understand my argument.
Just
the road
surveys you did.
That
is how things are done. You don't just.
Nobody disagree with you on that. Nobody disagree with you.
You don't just. Hold on, please. I didn't interject when you're speaking. You see, a country that does not plan, and that's part of the problem that we have. You just wake up, you don't plan, you don't have data, you don't have anything, you just wake up and you mortgage the lives of millions of Nigerians for a project you don't know the cost, you don't know how much interest is going to be, you don't know the gestation period, you don't know anything, and people are coming and say, so long as it passes my place, I benefit. Therefore, it doesn't matter. What kind of thing? Yes, of course, it's going to employ people. Yes, of course, people will apply that fruit. But that's nonsense. That's not how a country is run. And we must say it and speak it.
That's not the argument, Tony. That's not the argument. That's not the argument. You are wrong. Nobody disagreed. Nobody said you could say that he treated the project was right. I don't think anybody agree with that.
Forefather said it here. Forefather said it.
No, you said that.
Forefather said that Igbo people are against it because it's not passing through their religion. Forefather said it here. What are you telling me?
Hold on.
What are you telling me? Forefather said that Igbos are against it because it's not passing through their region. He said it here.
You made your point. KJ, the question you asked me is about the idea of that road. Now, people are condemning the process. I don't think anybody agrees with the process to which we get to know about the road. I don't think anybody will. But again, the president has the executive power to initiate the project. Right?
Okay.
Me and you don't have control about that. I am more in support of the initiative. Somebody said that it's even early 2000, which I don't even know about. So people are saying, oh, it is not the right time. They say the
Now,
best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time was today. Yeah, we fail to do it. But that means we should not do it today. If we don't do
if
it
you
today, when are we going to do it?
if you allow me
So
moderate,
I don't agree with the money and everything, yes. But the initiative,
I
go ahead, sir. Over.
don't feel sad.
Over. Over.
I tried not to do that, please. Now, the forefather was a guy who had the floor, and I just gave Tony an opportunity to make contributions so our forefather can round up his thought. If need be, we can expand on this, but I don't think so. So let us conclude. Now, the question I asked Ovie was, some people, and I'm here, I think I have the right to ask any question, whether in the way that you understand or the other way. And, you know, so I asked that question for which he gave an explanation. And so many other people have given their own view based on whichever side they're leaning. But it's not based on whether they are from the southeast. It's not based on that at all. Because no southern eastern person who will see that road and say he does not approve of it. Because that's what we have been talking for. If you notice, my first contribution when I came into this Dr. Damage's program was I made demand. And the East Coast Road was one of the things I talked about. Because the East Coast Road will open up the waterways, will open up the seashore, for which many countries have used as a developing point in their nations. I said this here. So these things are not new to me. So when forefathers say I'm not for it, I'm wondering how. Because that has always been, in fact, I've always talked about the beauty of the shorelines that is not developed. Other countries, that's the most expensive part. If you go to our own side, you see that those places are left for slums and all the rest, which we can clean up and develop. So I don't think anybody from the southeast or south who sees beauty in Nigeria will not like it. But what we are saying is, you can't just jump up and begin to construct a road without knowing how much it costs. That was the bone of contention. You cannot say to Arise News people, oh, we don't know the cost, you know. Okay, and this is probably one of the most expensive projects taken so far, you know, in the last maybe 20-something years. Okay, and nobody debated it. Nobody talked about it. There's no cost. There's no drawing. There's nothing. You're just doing it bit by bit, as if you are building gutters, you know, and all the projects are divided into different costs. But let me leave for further to conclude, and then I can come to Igbo basics. My time is fast running out, and I know that forefather is here, so he's going to continue with other things we didn't touch. But let's hear from forefather.
Thank you. The earlier conversation when this stuff was this in commission, it was clear based on, and I was saying it here, that the way they are coming across saying that they are against the project, it may be linked to the fact that it's Tinubu, or the fact that it's just something that is not coming towards the southeast. Because clearly, I was watching, even P2B was saying, and I disagreed with him, because he knows full well that this is a bigger project. This is something that African countries are doing to link African countries together. And the way they want to do it is through the coastal regions, so that they can link them, because those coastal regions, they can also receive ships and all kinds of different stuff. It enriches people. So when that opinion was being made, and I noticed that the lines were clearly demarcated, because I know when they were trying to build the second Niger bridge, nobody was here saying, "Oh, it shouldn't be done," or a seaport. Why would you support a seaport in the south? Because you think that it's going to help your traders and all the rest, but you don't support road in that south region. It doesn't even make sense. You see the kind of the demarcation. The reason why I'm saying this, I'm not saying it so we are conscious of some of our biases, so that we can, because it's not by coincidence that somebody that is in Edo State is the one that's saying this road should be built. That he knows there will be problems. He even said that it may not even be in his lifetime. It's not by coincidence, and I've said it before, that we have to be conscious of our biases, because when somebody calls you out, and what's his name, Mazi is very happy to jump into, oh, he hates Igbo people. He hates Igbo people.
Of course, you have this then. You have this then. For Igbo people. I've followed your program. I've listened to you. You have wisdom for Igbo people.
Calm down. You see, if you try, you can't even make me hate Igbo people. You see, your problem is that we are Igbo people. We are hooked in the West. We are together. Hold on. Let me finish my statement, please. Let me finish my statement. We like it or not. You see, we like it or not. Just like we are all tied. You know, some of you not like Fulanis. You are hooked in the same nation with them. You have to make your peace with it and work with each other. This idea that like me now, when I was saying that the railway should be built through the listing, so people were like, oh, no, there's no infrastructure in the southeast, there's no national presence. I was like, but when we are all here talking about it, everybody supports that more should be done and this railway should be built. Why is it that we can see it, I can see it, that it needs to be done in that region? Even my own argument about the Niger River being developed, it also will affect the southeast, and the southeast will benefit from it too. Do you see me thinking from just a south person point of view? No, I'm not.
You are getting it wrong.
Mr. KJ, can I come in for a quick minute?
Okay, please, Kandu, come in quickly, and then Ibu Basic will go ahead to speak.
Yeah. Forefathers, I can. I don't really think reasonable people think about, oh, this is the southeast, whatever part of any country. You know, I heard people make this argument that Baba Yabo did not want a seaport built. It's like, I don't even understand the people that think like this. Who cares whether it's in your part of the country or not? As long as it's going to move things forward, it's going to move commerce forward. You know, I don't really understand people who think in Yoruba terms or Hausa terms or Fulani terms. Whoever can get the job done, whatever the job is that will push progress forward. Go and get somebody from Togo to come and rule Nigeria. I don't care where the leader comes from, as long as the job is done. So I don't think people are really about, you know, oh, it's because it's in the south or wherever. It's about, I mean, what people are talking about, and I think a few people have said it, is where the right visibility studies done. You know, did you think about the long implications of all those people who had to lose their homes? I mean, this is done in all over the world. If you go to China today, look at I forgot the name of that humongous dam. Villages, number of villages, hundreds of them. You know, people had to get out of the way for the progress of the country. So I don't care whether it's Tinubu that did it, it is Nwabweze or Kano. Let's identify what needs to be done, what's going to take the country forward, and bring whoever to do it. You know, so it's not a matter of people just saying, oh, it's for this part of the country, whatever part of the country is. And this is why I keep saying it's going to take polluted minds out of the way. Maybe 50 years for us to really get to that, you know, to that promised land.
I think that is a valid point, because that is exactly what I'm saying, that it's about what works. And like when some people say,
if you don't mind,
okay,
hold on. Igbo Basics, welcome. You've been here for a while. So
KJ, I have observation. If my brother Igbo Basic can allow me to make my observation.
Please observe observation.
Okay, thank you. My observation is based on what my brother forefathers started saying from beginning. Forefathers, I want to tell you, this particular project that is being talked about is not only the people from the southeast that are talking about this project, that is against this project. But I don't know the reason why you just came in here. The first comment you made is that the Igbos are against the project. You begin to name names, those who are against this project.
Exactly.
Please, I keep talking to you for you to try to be sensitive to what you say. Because I don't know how this project that is being condemned from every part of Nigeria, that you came here now and begin to name the names of the Igbo people who are against this project.
The same Igbo coup.
For example,
horrible people.
Why you are trying to
We're dealing with horrible people. We are living with horrible people.
when you're trying to make your
He's
point.
happy now. He won't let me finish my point, so he's letting them insult me and say all kinds of
I'm not.
things
I'm
that
not
I didn't say.
I will insult you because you started the insult.
You say I will
I
finish
will
it, but you
insult
never
you.
let me finish what I'm
I
saying.
will insult you because you started the insult. You are unbearable.
Mazobra, please.
Whatever everybody says,
Please let us be cordial. Let us be respectful. I'm just. Let me learn.
Begin to gaslight again.
I am only chipping in an advice to you for further. I'm not telling you to take it, but I just want you to be sensitive whenever they talk about something that has to do with Southeast. You come in the way you come in. You display that feeling that people begin to look at you in different directions.
Pure hatred. Pure hatred.
What I want.
Okay. Okpara, please.
Bye.
This comment you made while you are trying to make this thing, I don't see how it came in. I don't see how it marries or matches to what we are talking about. Because people from every part of Nigeria have been talking about this so-called your project that we are talking about. I don't know why you should single out the Igbos as the people that are against this project. I don't understand that.
Thank you.
And also, I want to end by like this. Even as we are talking here, none of us know where you come from. I don't know where you come from. No single person here knows where you come from.
Will tell us where it comes from.
Please try to be sensitive when you say something like this, because people are watching and people are listening.
All right, let's move on.
Mr. KJ.
I hear what he's saying. I hear what he said because he's a little more second. So he said, try to watch what you are saying because he seems to understand where I'm coming from. It's not because I'm trying to malign my brothers in that region. You see, now you want to interrupt again. You see?
No. Hold on. I won't take everything that has to do with that your comment together. So Igbo Basic, what you want to say doesn't have to do with anything that Fofele is saying. If not, we'll allow him conclude. He can start a new.
Please, Fofele, conclusion.
Okay.
Wow, that's observation. That conclusion. That's a good one. Nice one. So I'm just saying, you see, remember, don't make any mistake of what I'm saying here. I say we should be more self-aware of our biases because this is very, very important if you are trying to build a nation. Anytime you walk into any conversation and you don't recognize your biases, you're going to polarize the conversation immediately. The other side will be on the other side, the other side will be on the other side. And that is not always good. And maybe part of the reason why I'm very, very sensitive to this is because I grew up in that region. I grew up in River State. Like I said, I've said it before. I lived in a property that Igbo person used to own before. So I know the dynamics that is going on in that region. And it's not helping the region. The region is they are more populated, you know. They have more population in the south than the other part of the south. But yet, most of the country is being controlled mostly in the southwest because the southwest is more stable. But instead of us to be, coming together, strategizing and building assets in that region so that we can all progress, but we just are disorganized all the time. We can't even hear each other. It's so strange that a Yoruba man will will resonate more with a South person than the person that is right next door to us that should understand what is going on in the South. When Ovie said there has not been any major construction in that region, many of you, when he was saying it, don't even know whether there was any. If not because James said it there. That alone should be jogging your mind that, okay, why is Ovie saying this? Because he must have felt that this is Nigeria and we have been diminished by it. Remember, Ovie is from a great kingdom, that's the Edo kingdom, that was very, very powerful when there was no real Nigeria as we know it today. Now they are like a backwater that barely have any development in those regions. So when somebody says they want to build that coastal highway, which is not even because somebody had a good intention to do it, it's because of Africa is looking to do something like that, where they will link countries up, then you hear some people, like even Peter Obi of all people should understand the reason why they are doing it. He say, oh, why are you using it for that? Use it for this
okay,
thing.
You have 1 more minute.
Yes, thank you. Why using it for that? Use it for fixing the roads that are there, which is a valid argument. But first of all, you should have to acknowledge that it's a good project and you know why the project needs to be done, because it will benefit a lot of people in that region. And at the same time, you go on and say, okay, if they are trying to build a rail track through the southeast, does anybody here, I've never had one person disagree with that. If, as a matter of fact, I brought it up as an issue here that they should be built, they should get that road done, because I've traveled on that rail before, but now it's barely active anymore. I talked about the waterways that should go through the River Niger so that
all those regions, all those trade. Why should they have to be going to the Lagos to be doing trade when Igbo man can just take his boat, this thing, and go straight through the waterway, straight to this in Onitsha there? All those things is for all our own benefit. I'm from that region too. Why is it that everything has to be going to Lagos? And I think I also said it just now that this Tinubu government, the way he is behaving, is also acting the same way.
Okay,
that is why Northerners
so
are turning against him too. See, my point is that I've seen tribalism in many African countries, and the way we behave sometimes, and you see the structure of the country is so polarized because of tribalism. And we really need to start being conscious of all this so that anything that is good for the country, we should just all back it, period. No, don't worry about whose region
all
it
the
is.
time that you need to talk.
Thank you. Now, I want to say something to you, for you keep trying to do this. My elder brother is married to an Ishan woman. Ishan. I have cousins, nephews whose mother and who are even right now as I speak to you, they are in Ekpoma. As I speak to you right now. My elder brother, my elder brother. So I'm not saying my relative. I have a relative who is married to a Yoruba person. Yoruba, yes. And they live in Lagos. Okay? Sometimes people come here and make all kinds of assertions. You know, in this place they've said Igbos they don't marry Wawa. Iwawa inferior. My cousin is married, he's still a lecturer in University of Nigeria. He married a Wawa person. We all went for that celebration. Nobody has ever one day pointed to the woman and say, this one no be Wawa. So, these are the things they carry about Igbos that are not true. But we don't want to spend time going to debate it. Now, if the West East Road gets operational, won't Igbos follow it? Will it be only for Edo people following there? Now, but if your father, okay, let me say, if somebody's father was building a house and the person's father is no more, and then you get to the point where you have money to build a house, do you abandon the one your father started and start your own? Or do you complete your father's own before going to another project? If the case that you complete the one your father started, make it beautiful, then you start your own, then that is why we are saying what we are saying. Almost every road in Nigeria is bad. Almost everywhere, even the shortest expanse of road from Lagos to Ibadan is bad. Not to talk about going to the north, not to talk about going to Edo, for which you are talking about. The Edo one, it takes many days before you even get into Benin. And the minister was there saying that road had been done. Somebody the next day went to that road and took pictures of the road, video, and said, look at the road. Your minister is saying it has been fixed. So what am I saying here? I'm saying sometimes we need to get off this sentiments, tribal sentimental thing. Igbos are, I don't know any Nigerian that is more outgoing than the Igbos. I don't know how many houses live in my community. Since I have been coming from my community, it's only once I saw a thief man and his wife. And why do I know they are thief? Because I was walking through the road and I heard them speaking thief. So I stopped and I spoke to them. I was very happy with them. I asked if they had any problems. They said no. This you said is not the point I'm making. I'm just saying we should be more sensitive to developments in other areas.
When you come and say the people of the South or somebody who don't like it, well, there's nothing like that. It was me who threw an innocent question to Ovie because I wanted to draw Ovie out to tell me what he feels. It's just a normal discussion. I was asking him, what he feels, and he made expression of what he feels. It's not necessarily because I'm wanting to. Why would he even want to condemn the road anyway?
This is not complicated. During that time, you know it full well. When that thing came out, a lot of people were saying it was bad, but all the people that were agreeing with it, apart from the north and north, I don't care about it. I'm just talking about the people in the south that were agreeing with it, are people from that region. Why is it that people from that region are generally agreeing with it? Because it seems like everybody is being selfish and thinking only of themselves. And my point is that we should stop doing that. We should look at things on its merits.
Let's make traction. You have the next show coming.
Respect the elders now, but Igbo Basic for 2 hours.
Go ahead and give us your thoughts on so far. Listen, you can take any subject actually.
All right, agreed or disagreed. KJ, I sent you on your
yes, Chief
Al 75.
I saw it.
and I just reposted another one for you because that's really the subject that I wanted to listen out front as I speak.
Okay.
And in there is also the one that I just sent to you now. I also sent that to Dr. Damages Rudolph, who, by the way, is from that area of Ndolumbe. I also attached an account number of Chika Tunonso Opala at Starling Bank of 00885203383 on it. If you can share that with our audience, the reason is very simple. To get into the 70th floor, you must have passed, many waters must have passed through the bridges. And for a man like Chief Zebediah Okorigwe Ngobe, alias 430, who, if it was in the American context, those people, you got to buy ticket to go see them today. But it's in our country, Nigeria. So I wanted to bring that to our attention that a great man is being celebrated for turning 75 years old. And thank God that the Abia state government had also taken it up to provide a venue for them on that day at 6 o'clock in the PM, and that would take place at the banquet hall of the government house, Umuahia, Abia State. Having said that, I have listened to all the conversations that we have had today. And while still on the Chief Zebediah Okorigwe Ngobe's topic, today is, have you said, 247. That's why I'm picking up on just a couple of topics that I felt could be useful. A lot of people say, how can I help? That's one way you can help. We can't depend on one angle. You may not know Zebediah. You may know Zebediah. You may not know the new masquerade or the masquerade. But this is the stage we are in now. And to move it further, one of these days we will bring Zebediah to this stage so that all of us can appreciate the man who can only spoken language, who can deliquate and brokerage. I can't even try what that man can do with this same thing called English language. Yet you will understand when he speaks. He's the man who will mutilate English language by the time he landed off land. You go sabi say the English now, not the Igbo man manufacturer more. We too know how to deliquate the whole process. I can't even try to imitate what I'm talking about. But these are people who, in the face of all adversity, they will try to bring humor to our lives. And we'll be busy in trying to go and see them just because they are speaking. That was after the war, right after the war. And these were the people who made us realize that life is still worth living. As I listen to every conversation that has been made today, from people talking about Third World War, it took me back to when we used to think about Burma. Some of us don't know where Burma is. We used to think about Santa Isabel. We used to think about Panya. They tell you, say your people will go Panya. You they wonder, what did they go for? It's during the same world wars that were being fought before. The difference is this. In those days, there were people in the villages who were growing up, no fear of kidnapping, no fear of nothing. You go carry your knife, enter bush. You will go safe and come back safe. There were still traces of people who take people away. Remember, slave trade used to take place in those days. People still got missing. But for the most part, you as a young child can actually get up, go about your business, come back safe, even though you've been advised.
Okay.
And when I said I agreed to my brother forefathers, some of us, when we came to a place like the United States, we had no idea of anything called racism. Hello? We had no idea of anything called racism. We came here It's only when you begin to live in the system that you realize that the first strike is that you're a black man. And the rest is history. So when we are talking about us versus them, South-South versus North-South, or whatever you may call it, if I see Ovie on the road today, the first thing I will probably say is, Nakedu. That's a signal. If he says Adema, I probably have further conversation. Plus, I will regard him as my brother because he looks like me. If I see forefathers anywhere on the road, Oga, I beg, my friend, how far? If you understand how far, we can go into the next stage of the conversation. So there should not be this issue of because they build them here, because they build them there. So many things have been built, and so many are still being built. I wanted to start my conversation with what I call the basic trust from air roads, because we were talking about roads.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what a trunk air road is? All of us, as built by the British. These were roads that only the war destroyed, a lot of those roads. A trunk air road may have passed through your area. So I'm not going to go into depth with that. Because what is being built today, you build them now, you come back in 3 or 4 or 5 months, you may be able to pass, and some will last. So I'm not going to go there because that's not the subject there. The subject again being that you're talking about Coastal Railroad. Again, this is taking me off my topic. When they built the what you call it, that pipeline that went from Port Harcourt to Kaduna, the tank didn't run through in Aba, it ran through a land that my brother was supposed to be building an industry in, and went all the way to Kaduna. So those are strategic things that are being done. Well, they don't start them. What do you go do? There's nothing you can do. It started. So we pray that someday, may they finish them. It may not be in our lifetime. Whatever process that they have started, what didn't concern me. Let's get back to what I really wanted to talk about, which is depopulation. The depopulation of places in Igbo land. I don't know, maybe it's happening in your backyard too. A lady was complaining the other day of how she went home and couldn't find people again. And she counted a family of 125 and she could only find like 3 or 4 that was still in existence. Yet, we are complaining. And she landed that maybe make una go home, begin marrying plenty to reproduce. Now, I was talking to a very learned gentleman yesterday who is on ground. And he was pointing out, in fact, the church being complicit in this whole process. Why our people are not reproducing to replace. God, everybody has come to Adeleke, including our old ones. Before it used to be that you came to America or you went to Britain, they go send you off, they go celebrate, say they go, they carry you, put you for airport, Benin airport, you go. And when you finish, you come back. But now, even our grandma don't come. So who do you expect to be in the village? What am I saying is that if we are not careful, we are staying here saying the Fulani is overrunning your village. Go back to the 80s and remember when people came from Niger Republic in Aba. For instance, you see one woman by the roadside with an umbrella on their head, and you see what's going on there. Etikin, where they are around them. I don't know if you experienced that, but I did experience that. That was populating the place and continuously populating the place. And you can't deny those kids. They were born there. Sometimes they know more than you do in terms of the nooks and crannies. Serious. So what are we going to do about these things? In terms of, when you go to a foreign country or wherever we are, anytime they ask you, where are you from? Please realize it's time to go home. The question is, where are you going home? Will you still find people in your village? As it stands right now, people would rather go to burials than to go to work because they believe that when they go to burial, they can at least get some meals in that place and get some drinks. So we have a collective problem here. As we are talking all this grammar, the people who were there for top, they are struggling today on top and continue. They don't care. They really don't care. So I will land and finish my subject with KJ. It's an appeal that I made. If you can pull up the chief Zebudea Okoriwe Ngobe, alias 430, and present to our audience, and I'm going to appeal to whoever wishes to extend a congratulatory message, not the format, eh?
All right.
Let the person look within the idea.
You know what? Please hang on with me, and I'm already short over my time by 10 minutes, and the forefather is coming on to the next stream, so that you can have that, so that I don't have to take too much of his time. I'm already taking 10 out of that, and the women's segment is coming in after forefather, so we have a lot. And tomorrow we're going to be here. We'll be dealing with the religious and all that. We're going to be looking at, because every time people think of national development and they say Christianity or Islam or whatever have become a stumbling block. Let's look at it. Let's examine that tomorrow together and see how we can, augment the situation that we find ourselves. I want to thank everybody. Please, if you don't mind, Igbo Basics, I will pose that to forefather, let him continue. I thank all of you. Mr. Tony, we thank you so much. You always, avail us your time. Thank you so very much. Ovie, thank you. I don't know what you're stoning that tree for, but it's okay. Thank you so much. You have been stoning trees since you were sitting there. I've been looking at you. All right.
Okay.
So,
oh, yeah, enjoy your good night.
KJ, you can also pass that ball to Mazi forefathers.
Yeah, that's
so
what
let's share this and not deprive our audience that opportunity to be able to reach out and say hello.
Okay. Thank you so much. Desta, thank you so much. I appreciate your contributions. Always very valuable and a point of discourse. You see, guys come into this place with open mind. I don't come here. You see, look, my best friends are from the north, till tomorrow. So I don't have any bias, towards anybody. My other brother is married to an Asian person. Me, I'm married to a Delta person who is more or less Yoruba. My wife Shekiri. I've said that before here. So I don't know when I should come into this now. Am I supposed to be hating my in-laws? We're talking about national development here. What will help everybody move forward? It's not whether it is Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba. It doesn't matter. What we want is development for our children and our nation to be great, just like America is great, just like Britain is great, just so that we all can, even if somebody say go home, you say, what am I even doing here? You pack your load and, how many South Africans are living outside of South Africa? Go and find out. That's because they have everything they need. They don't need to go to your country. How many of them play professional football outside of South Africa? Go and check. So when we come here to Georgia, it's because we're looking for a way to develop our teeming population, who are mostly young people. We're the youngest population being led by somebody we don't even know his age, whether it's 85 or 90, we don't know. So let us bring our time. Let us be able to, find how to define our own nation and build a stable country that we all can appreciate and enjoy. I have a request here from my uncle, my brother, and let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to download it to post it. If it doesn't come in now, it will come in forefathers' time. Is the birthday greeting of Chief Chika Okorigwonwobo, alias 430. It's a very beautiful poster. Man of prestige, please don't go. Forefather is behind so that you all can, continue the discussion. Please. I didn't overlook you, just that I've run out of all my time. And it's only fair for me to give space for forefather to continue.
Yeah, thank you, KJ.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sorry, Mr. Can I send this thing to forefather so that you put it on? It's taking more time than I thought. Okay.
I just took a screenshot of it. Maybe sometime, say Nigeria people's thing, they differ. I took a screenshot of it. Maybe that screenshot will be what would be more helpful or faster for you. Because, this is photos. Because if I have forefathers information, I would have sent it to him also. I guess. Okay. All right. There you go. There you go.
All right. It's not been properly laid out, but you can see, you can take a screenshot and be able to make a useful this thing. Forefather will be more able to deal with this because my time is out.
Okay. The more important information down there is the Chika Okpala's account number at Sterling Bank, which I read out to the people here. That will go a long way. If forefather can be gracious enough to carry it through.
Okay. On that note, I need to run.
Okay. As you are running, even though I didn't say it before, but I do know that we are forming a foundation on that. That's the topic for another day. Chika Okpala Foundation for the help of the artists. It doesn't matter whether you be Zaki or be you Jacob. That we have a foundation that is coming up right after the birthday. We wanted to separate these issues.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comments, sir. And please, if you don't mind, hold on and also continue with forefather. On that faithful note, we've come to draw the curtain here, and please don't go away. We have 2 more broadcasts coming up. The next one is forefather, who's already waiting for me to sign off. And then by 8 o'clock, we'll be having Adama. There's the ladies section. Dr. Adama will be hosting. And you will have all kinds of, useful discussion that can help you, help your family and all that. On that faithful note, I'll say thank you so much on behalf of Dr. Rudolph and every one of us here, and everybody who has been here contributing, either by the typewriter or typist or the keyboard or, on your screen. We thank you for just making it happen for us. We really appreciate you because this program will not hold if you are not there. So we don't take you for granted at all. On that faithful note, I want to say, have a blessed night and God bless you all.